By late season drop-offs, underachieving in undisciplined football, and just one playoff appearance, the Cardinals' next coach needs to possess two important traits, especially when it comes to the quarterback, believes our Harry Douglas.
Who is going to be that guy that comes into this organization that Kyler Murray respects? And Kyler Murray's not going to be able to run over. It has to be an alpha male, but at the same time, an alpha guy that understands how to get the best out of his players while still listening to them at the same time, because you just don't want to go in there and say it's my way or the highway. That's not how 2023 works.
Fitz and Harry co-host Harry Douglas. In addition, Cardinals GM Steve Keim has stepped away from his position to focus on his health. He's been on a health-related leave of absence the last month. NBA Nets forward Kevin Durant with an MCL sprain expected to be out about a month, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
Go Dogs! Sick 'em! Hoo, 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 hoo. It is National Championship Monday here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It all gets decided tonight at SoFi Stadium in L.A. Number 1, Georgia. Number 3, TCU. Oh, and by the way, we got Flostradamus back off the red eye.
I'm back, baby!
Fresh off the plane from Miami, Florida, as he got to see the offensive performance of a lifetime for the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets.
I'm still waiting. I watched a 60-minute NFL game. I'm still waiting to see the first touchdown.
Did you have to drink 87 domestic lights in the stadium to get through that game?
What are you, a cop? Here's the thing. I'm going to be really honest with you. You know, I learned a slew of things about Miami. I had been before, but it had been a while. Here's what I learned. The next person that complains to me about Asheville traffic, you are not going to like what I have to say. Because obviously you have never traveled outside of this city, because Miami makes this place look like a Tonka toy.
Yeah.
That's A. B, the next time you tell me how expensive Asheville is, Daddy's got some bar receipts that'll tell you you ain't right.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere around the world, wherever you go, on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click on the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And oh my, Pan is in the chat today.
We're back, baby. We're just doing stuff.
This is awesome.
It's the first day of Draftmas. I got a hot take that we're going to start the 4 o'clock hour with.
Actually, I don't think that I've seen Pan since the NFL draft coverage from before the season.
Oh, no, he's been there since then.
No, I'm just kidding. He just shows up for Flostradamus's hot and spicy takes on the NFL draft.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I am sunburnt. I woke up to 78 degrees, and I came back to not 78 degrees. Good Lord, it got colder up here.
Yep, it is. It is. After you spend a couple of days thawing out down in South Beach.
I fell asleep on the beach.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. I'm sunburned in some very strange places. Currently?
I hope not.
No, just I'm laid out a little strange right now. I've got very burnt knees. My feet are the color of your hat.
Mm-hmm. And
I've been on a plane all day. So, I'm in a mood. Let's go. Yep. Let's do it.
Yep. Anyway, this is normally when they hit the sounder, but we don't have the sounder.
Don't have any of those because they were in the other bag.
But hey, you know what? This is still opening drive, and it's always brought to you by Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, 629 Brevard Road. Go over there, and if you're in the market for a new or a certified pre-owned car, all you got to do is mention the Sportsocracy. They will give you $250 on top of whatever your trade-in is worth just for mentioning that you're part of the Sportsocracy family.
I have never appreciated my cars from Fred Anderson more than now. We rented a car in Miami. I'm pretty sure it's the car Tank traded. Yikes. A lot of pops, a lot of clicks. You don't have to worry about any of those things from any vehicle you get from Fred Anderson Nissan because they're very specific about what they put on their lot. So any car that they will sell you will be a reliable piece of transportation that will not scare you, as my trip to Miami just did.
We got the playoff bracket set in the NFL. We have found out when all of the times are going to be for the matchups for Wild Card Weekend. And it's going to be fun. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it'll all kick off on Saturday afternoon, 4:30, for the Seahawks and the 49ers.
Woohoo!
Yes. Other matchups, of course, you got the Minnesota Vikings hosting the New York Giants.
Woo-hoo!
And Philadelphia getting the bye in the NFC.
Kansas City also getting the bye.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals very obviously and very understandably angry about how that went.
Well.
You remember that thing I told you of, I don't understand how you're going to punish the two teams that went through what they went through? I am steadfast in that. NFL, you boo-boo kidded this. And the explanation of where this game is going to be played sounded a lot like Kenny Mayne and Dan Patrick trying to explain the basketball playoffs.
Well, it was definitely a round-robin situation with the one fewer game being played. But, I mean, Kansas City won, Buffalo won. I think they came up with the best solution possible. If the two face off in the AFC Championship game, then it's going to be a neutral site and probably at Lucas Oil Stadium.
It was a horrible decision. I will stick by it's a horrible decision. That game should be being played this Thursday, and the playoffs should start next week. Mm-hmm. That's how this should have gone.
Mm-hmm. But that's not how it's going. As Kansas City gets the first round bye, you got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're welcome, Miami, for that sweet offensive performance by my Jets.
Cincinnati Bengals, best part of yesterday, Joe Mixon's coin toss celebration after scoring the first touchdown of the game.
The best part of yesterday was Naheem Hines returning the opening kickoff.
Well,
in Buffalo.
I mean,
no doubt, undisputed. One of the great moments I've ever seen, and I saw it on a phone.
This is very true. Cincinnati Bengals just beating the snot out of the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. They will look to do the same in the first round of the playoffs, as they will host the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. And then the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars will be your primetime game on Saturday night.
And Brandon Staley, hey, buddy, when you're not playing for anything, maybe don't play your starters. Because you got Bosa and Mike Williams both hurt, and both are now questionable to play this week.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
It is stupid. It's very stupid. The draft order is set.
Oh, and I have a spicy draft take that I will go ahead and tell you I'm going to be arguing with Bears fans for months.
The Houston Texans winning yesterday over the Indianapolis Colts, losing the number 1 pick because the Chicago Bears are god-awful. And so now at 3-14 on the season, the Chicago Bears end up with the number 1 overall pick. You got Houston, Arizona, Indy, and Seattle all going to pick in the top
Detroit.
5. And then Detroit
this
at
will be
number
fun.
6.
This is going to be fun.
Yep. And we'll have some draft coverage coming up at the 4 o'clock hour for Mr. Jeremy Greene. He's got a spicy take that he is just going to pound into your heads for the next several weeks.
Oh, you're going to hear this many times on every platform, even kind of available.
And today also, not only is it National Championship Monday, but it's also Black Monday in the NFL, as we've had Cliff Kingsbury be fired earlier today.
It was fun while it lasted.
Mm-hmm. And last night, Lovie Smith getting the axe from the Houston Texans.
And that will be an I'm mad for later in this here program.
Plus, we'll have Jeremy's picks all coming up for tonight's national championship game. Number 1, Georgia. Number 3, TCU from SoFi Stadium.
Last set of college bangers for the year. Got a lot of people in the chat across the Twitter like, wait a minute, you're flying back from Miami and you're doing a show? Of course I am. This is one of the best days of the year, and if I could physically be in this chair, I was not missing it.
Last night, Sunday Night Football, how about them Green Bay Packers? I tried to tell you. This thing was going to fall apart. I just felt like it was destined to fall apart at some point.
I did not. And my sweeping declaration from last night is that is the last time you'll ever see Aaron Rodgers on a football field. And it's not because of what he said to Jameson Williams shook me. It was the look. He had a look on his face. I've seen that before. Ben Roethlisberger did this.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen several others.
Oh, that glassy-eyed look as he was looking around the stadium. Is that what you're
just
talking about?
taking it in? This is the last time I'm going to do this. Now, could he end up playing somewhere else? Maybe. I think the logistics of that get to be such a headache that I can't see Green Bay doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But that struck me as, I'm done. I'm done. I did everything I could possibly do, and it wasn't enough to get us to the playoffs. And I feel like he's looking around at this point going, it's not going to get any better.
No.
I mean, yes, this team can develop, but you look at the Quay Walker, just there's no word that is FCC sanctioned that I can say right here of how unbelievably stupid that was. And I feel like that was almost like a sign to Aaron Rodgers of, I can't do this with this team.
Mm-hmm.
This team is so young, and I'm getting to that point. I need to be propped up to a point. The interception that basically ended it. It wasn't a great read. It wasn't a great throw. But it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. It's a player that felt like he had to make a play in a clutch moment. And he just doesn't have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
How many passes did you see Romeo Doubs drop last night? As it was more than one. And I feel like Aaron's looking around at this point going, yeah, I signed this contract. There is nothing that would incentivize Green Bay to move off of me. I don't think there's a ready place to land. I mean, yeah, I would love to see him with the New York Jets, and that would make sense. I've seen a Green Bay Packer legend do this once before. Didn't end so well. B, how are you going to incentivize Green Bay to do it?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you watched him walk off for the last time last night.
It would be sad to think that is the last time, but I can't get there. I would see him making a Tom Brady like move, going somewhere else.
But the contract precludes that. That I've heard that all day. And if he was a free agent, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. You signed this deal. There is now no way to incentivize this for Green Bay. There's no way. The dead cap hit is over $50 million. You're not doing it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. You play in Green Bay or you don't play at all.
Shocker of shockers. This is now the, fourth off season in a row that we're going to go into where there's a question mark hanging over Aaron Rodgers' playing future.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's better for Green Bay on the whole. You're not winning a Super Bowl the way this team is constituted.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. I don't care who you bring in. You can bring in somebody for the defense. It couldn't be as bad as it's been at times with Joe Barry. I don't know that Aaron Rodgers can be the best player on a Super Bowl team anymore. I feel like you saw some very special moments of Aaron Rodgers. And there was always a yeah, but.
Mm-hmm.
There was a play last night. It wasn't one of those turning point. You're not going to see it on the highlights. It was a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, somewhere in that neighborhood. Romeo Doubs gets open. He's got a step. Pass is borderline perfect. He just drops it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a look on Aaron Rodgers' face. Like I said, I've seen this before.
Yep.
Of, there's nothing I can do. At this point, I am not going to be better than the San Francisco 49ers. That team is good. They are young, and they're cheap in all of the right places. So they're going to have the luxuries like Christian McCaffrey. And he's looking around going, I don't have that. I have Aaron Jones, who, yeah, he's good. I have and Dylan, who, yeah, he's good. But I don't have that guy. I don't have that number one guy that I can trust in those biggest of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Holt asked in the YouTube comments, are you saying he's retiring? Yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm saying. I think it will take a week. Might take till after the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Aaron Rodgers, with all of the things I know about him, what he plans to do after his playing days, and what I saw last night, that felt like I'm done. I gave it my best, and I'm done.
Yep. And he said he left the window open after the game.
Of course he did.
His post-game comments were, basically we'll just have to wait and see.
And would it shock me if he strings this thing out? Not at all. It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going into the draft and we still don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. I don't think that's how it's going to go, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did.
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Is this the last time we've seen Aaron Rodgers on an NFL field? It's the last time with the Green Bay Packers. one thing is for certain, they had their chance last night. You had your chance to punch your ticket into the playoffs. All you had to do was beat the Detroit Lions. Let's go Lions.
The Motor City Madman Dan Campbell.
We'll be back. More Monday overreactions coming up next.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it, especially these days. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America, iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising, with experts ready to craft your message fast. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing, I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, how Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And how about them Cowboys? Woo! What a way to end the season, baby.
How about them Cowboys?
I mean, let's just roll right into the playoffs with a little upswing. Come on.
Yep. And here's my take of that. They're still going to smoke you.
Jeez.
I mean, like a honey ham.
Stop that.
I would argue that game is exactly what Dallas needed.
Okay. All right, Jerry Jones.
I think you needed to get smoked. I think Dallas was listening to their – you walked into this game thinking you're playing Sam Howell, who, by the way, is the #1 quarterback in last year's draft class and is not even close. You give me Brock Purdy. All right, put Brock Purdy with the Washington Commanders. Tell me how that works out.
Right.
He gets Kyle Shanahan. Sam Howell's going to be the starter in Washington next year, and he should be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they walked in, maybe listening to the press clippings, maybe listening to Michael Irvin, maybe listening to Skip Bayless. And you got punched directly in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going into Tampa, a team that's already beaten you. You're going to hear this all week long.
Absolutely.
And now, what does Dallas not have that they had a week ago? The ridiculous expectation of their fan base. Because right now, I've heard it all day long. I've been on a flight with a slew of Cowboy fans with a big old ESPN windbreaker on. So you can assume how many questions I got asked about this. They all feel like they're going to walk in and get slaughtered by Tom Brady. The GOAT's going to do it to us again. No, he is not. No, he is not.
Yeah.
That to me is the easiest doubloon to put down on an NFL game I think that I've ever seen.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, it's the easiest one in the history of time.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. Dallas is Dallas is a 3-point favorite on the Monday night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. You know what I saw? I saw playoff Dallas show up a week early. And I don't think it matters. I really do not think it matters. When it comes down to the end of it, you got to rely on Dak Prescott to make some plays. And what has he ever done to make you think that he's going to step up in a playoff game?
It's not so much what I think he's going to do. It's what I think you're going to do.
Oh.
I feel like this is, to me, and you call me conspiracy theorist, you can say I've got my tinfoil hat on, whatever you want. Explain to me how Tampa Bay could beat any team in these playoffs without saying Tom Brady's name.
Can't.
There you go. So you've got a mediocre quarterback at this point, because that's what he is. That's 45 years old, that I could argue hates every person in the building around him. Dallas is better at every level than you are. And I fully believe. And look, I'm supposedly the Cowboy hater. I told Amy all night last night. Because I'm not going to lie, 3 days in Miami is a lot like 3 days in Vegas. By the end of it, you're just going, when's that flight again? Like, I don't know that I could do another night of this and not die. The entire game, I'm going, this is exactly what Dallas needed. They needed to get punched in the mouth.
And that's exactly what happened. They lost 26-6 to the Washington Commanders. Every level of the game, Dallas gave Washington every opportunity. And, you know.
And so now you take a mediocre coach in Mike McCarthy that has two really good coordinators that are both head coaching candidates. And now you gave them a rallying cry. And you showed them something that I feel like they needed to see firsthand, which is Dak come out and be just dreadfully awful. The path to winning this is not throwing the ball with Dak Prescott. That's why I've harped on the Cowboys so much, because Kellen Moore is like a little kid with fireworks. I've got a lighter, and these things explode. Watch me explode them. Or maybe you just got burnt on national television, and this is going to be talked about all week long. And so what do you do in the meeting rooms? You look at Ezekiel Elliott, you look at Tony Pollard, and you look at CeeDee Lamb. And go, there's nobody that can certifiably stop any of you. Micah Parsons, who is supposed to block you? Because they're going to put him over Donovan Smith the entire game. I don't just think they beat you. I think they're going to embarrass you. And it's going to push Tom Brady right out of Tampa, maybe to somewhere that makes a whole lot of sense.
That's happening anyway.
Oh, he's sailing off anyway.
Right.
That's the part that nobody seems to want to talk about. You ever had a work environment where everybody just hates everybody? And there's backbiting, and everybody's you got these little cliques all around the team? That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a nutshell. Oh, and everybody thinks the boss is a moron. Does that ever lead to anything good? You ever see those? Do you ever have, like, great success in those companies where those things are the truth? Okay, so now you're going into a playoff game on your home field. On your home field.
Yeah.
With a fan base full of people that thought they had one more ride with Tom Brady.
And they do. And they do.
It's almost comically stupid to me that you actually believe that.
They do. I mean, it's not a belief. It's an empirical fact. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs.
A ride would assume that you could actually get to the finish line.
I'm not telling you we can get to the finish line.
Can't.
What I'm telling you is that fan base, they are delusional.
That's my point.
Tampa Bay
what
Buccaneers
you just said is my whole point.
Fan base is absolutely delusional, and they will show up on Monday night with every hope and every belief that Tom Brady is going to pull them through.
And then what happens? See, that you got everything I just said right, but you forgot the last step. What happens when you come out and you're down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
It's the Tom Brady show. He'll throw it 60 times.
And when that doesn't work, what's going to happen? I heard it a slew yesterday. Boo! I could see your fan base booing this team out of the stadium. I don't just think you're going to get beat.
You could.
I mean, I'm telling you, and I believe this to the core of my being. I have talked to gambler friends. I'm already heavily invested in this. I don't think you're going to get beat 23-16. I think you're going to get beat 42-3. And I am so unbelievably confident in it. I'll take anything you want. It has all set up perfectly for you think this middle-aged, mediocre quarterback at this point, because that's what he is. At this point, he's not Tom Brady. He's Joe Montana with the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you remember how that went? And that was a drastically better team than this. They went into the playoffs, and they ran out of gas. And that's what I see here.
Yep. Well, the Dallas Cowboys are going into the playoffs with no gas after getting shellacked, embarrassed by the Washington Commanders yesterday, 26-6. I have zero faith that they're going to go into Tampa, and there is no shot in my mind that they will roll in that game. It'll be close down to the end. Tampa will have a shot. They may come up empty, but it's going to be close.
That is not how I see that.
Dallas on the road in the playoffs. That's all you need to know in my book.
And this is one of those times that you're looking at. This is the Hurricane Rock. This is the Hurricane Rock all over again. I'm not telling you Dallas is going to be great. I'm telling you they do everything that you struggle with. And you're expecting this white knight to show up on his horse with his shield and his sword. And what he's really showing up with is a pool noodle. Oh. Poor Tommy's career is going to end exactly like Aaron Rodgers did.
See, and then when you say it that way and you have that little sly little smirk, how do you expect people not to go, oh, come on, this is just Brady hater-ism?
Okay. You tell me anything he's done this year that makes you go, yeah, that guy. Because if you blind resumed the two of them, he's way closer to Baker Mayfield right now than he is to Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. But he threw for a ton of yards. Okay, look at any analytic that you want. He can hit wide open receivers. Tight windows. Do you know how many quarterbacks in the NFL have been worse than him?
How many?
It's 6.
Nice.
In tight window throws. And you're going to get Trayvon Diggs probably on Mike Evans. Now, could that lead to some bad things? Absolutely.
100%.
This is also the ultimate application for Dan Quinn. And I'm telling you right now, he is a legitimate contender for the Denver Broncos job. And if you come out here and fall on your face, bad things are going to happen just like they did last year.
100%.
Everybody's going to talk about how great you are, and then you're not going to get that job.
They come out and fall on their face. None of them are getting jobs.
And that's the point.
They're all unemployed.
And that's the
Mike
point.
McCarthy included.
So you have one team that basically has their entire future vested in this game, and another that cannot get away from each other fast enough. That's a recipe for disaster. You call me a Brady hater all you want to. What I'm telling you is Tuesday when we line up to do this again, don't be shocked when I'm sitting here going, man, that was awful predictable. And you know how I know that? Because I predictable it.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Well, we know officially how the NFL feels about gambling. The Calvin Ridley situation, his year-long suspension, we all saw how that unfolded. Well, over the weekend we had another one. Bernie Kosar got cut loose by the Cleveland Browns. So he was a member of their broadcast crew. And on his radio show, he came out last week and said that he had placed the first legal bet in the state of Ohio, and it was on the Cleveland Browns in this past weekend's game. And he put $19,000 on the Cleveland Browns to beat the Steelers. Now, obviously, he lost the bet. $19,000 was significant because that was Bernie Kosar's number, was number 19 when he was the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Greatest quarterback in Cleveland Browns history. Should probably tell you everything you need to know. I'm not taking too many shots here. I mean, Bernie had his years where he was relevant in the NFL. But once he said that, he got the notification that said his services are no longer desired or needed by the Cleveland Browns. I feel like that's a little strong. No longer desired or needed. It's a hell of a way to be let go. And I don't understand this. I don't understand what the big deal is about an announcer putting a wager on the game.
The way it looks.
But how does that look?
I don't disagree with you.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't out.
Look, I'm
the
playing
lunch
devil's advocate because to me, we should all be allowed to make any wager that we want to. Because here's the thing, we all do anyway.
Yeah, my question is,
I said
what
this
does it
10
matter?
years ago. Miles Austin, receivers coach for the Jets, he's suspended for a year now.
Right.
What do you think, he was throwing games?
I mean, announcers don't make any sense to me. Announcers have zero impact on the game. Right?
Yeah, but the thought is that you know things.
So he knows things. So if he had put a wager against the team, I'm going to use the old Pete Rose scenario here. If he had wagered against the team with insider information that he knew, okay. He bet on his team to win. Like, what is the harm in that? And on top of that, he's the announcer. He's got no pull in this game.
Well, here's the thing. If you think people like us don't know things too, I got a bridge to sell you.
Exactly.
And our records in Beat the Chief, which we'll talk about later in this here program.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I kind of do. I do want to talk about it. Just shows you that, I mean, that's an advantage, yes.
Yes.
It doesn't always translate to
I don't know. I got
W's.
into a back and forth last week with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan that was commenting during the game about how it was it was somehow unfair that Greg Olsen was calling the Carolina-Tampa Bay game. And I went, why? But why?
But for why?
I mean, I know he played for Carolina, but what the does it matter?
Do you think his well wishes are like powering the Panthers here?
Did you feel the same way every weekend when Rondé Barber was calling Tampa Bay games? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. The announcers have no they have no impact on the game, and I just feel like this is crap. Bernie Kosar just gets released by the broadcast crew for the Cleveland Browns because it's a bad look that somebody connected with the team placed a wager.
Well, that was a bad way to get let loose. But it may not be the most unceremonious way that we see an NFL player removed from a franchise. News has come out that Bill Belichick, who turned 71 in April, plans to return for his 24th season as coach of the New England Patriots in 2023. That ain't the story here. Did you hear what he said about Mac Jones?
I did.
It's the exact quote. I think Mac has the ability to play quarterback in this league. I think. We have to all work together to find the best way as a football team, which obviously quarterback's an important position to be more productive than we were this year. Let me put that into everyday terms. That would be like having a fight with your spouse. And somebody asks you, well, are you getting divorced? Well, I think they're great.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing better comes along, there is a possibility that we will have a chat one day about maybe we can continue to do this. I can't tell you who the next quarterback of the New England Patriots is. I can tell you Mac Jones is not going to be the one.
He ain't going to be Mac Jones.
Because Bill's 71 years old. He's impatient. And there are two that I cannot get away from. One of them is Jimmy Garoppolo. Because that just strikes me as the most Bill Belichick thing humanly possible. I know him. I'm comfortable with him. I shouldn't have moved off of him when I did. And now I try to make everything hunky-dunky. Because Garoppolo is not going to have he's not going to have a really thick market as a free agent quarterback. I feel like Brock Purdy is costing him money every time he steps on a football field.
I would agree with that.
Oh, you mean the least athletic quarterback I've ever seen in my life has come out here and made them look like Super Bowl champions? Okay, Jimmy, don't call us. We'll call you. And that was brought to you by Rogue Combat Club, new sponsor of Just a Bit Outside, Asheville's premier Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai gym. They're your one-stop shop for all BJJ and Muay Thai and fitness needs. Go see them at 1078 Tunnel Road and tell them the guys from the Sportsocracy sent you.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We got a super chat from our good friend up in Canada, Gage Camplin.
Yeah!
Says, hey, boys, great week of football coming up for the AFC. NFC is a little sad. Ended the season hitting a 6-legger. Good for you,
Bingo.
Gage.
Let's go.
Says, what are you guys' best bets of the week?
How about them Cowboys?
Let's address it coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday, and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion. Trust me, I know about joint pain.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about chronic joint pain and exciting new regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics.
I know what it's like to fight through pain, but now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced, all-natural regenerative medicine that can give you lasting relief with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Do you suffer with constant pain from arthritis or injury? Pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back? Don't assume steroids, pain meds, and surgery are your only options. Regenerative, restorative, natural solutions are now available.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love.
Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation and learn how regenerative medicine can repair and restore damaged joint tissue.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought I'd care about gardening until I bought a house in the suburbs. But now I find myself in conversations about liquid fertilizer, and I wonder, am I the fertilizer guy now? No way. Everyone knows the ratio between phosphorus and nitrogen, right? Yeah, I'm still totally cool.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. We'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM and everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Of course, on YouTube, you can get your super chats in, and we will highlight your comment or question. Gage Camplin wants to know what our best bets of the week are. I know Jeremy's going to give out his pick for tonight coming up at the end of the program, but I can only...
One last set of bangers for the college football season.
But I'm here to tell you, TCU plus the 13 is about the safest bet I think there is on the planet. I feel as good about that as Jeremy does the Dallas Cowboys minus the 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night.
I have a lean tonight. You have to stick around to the end of the program to hear what that is.
Absolutely. I mean, look, somebody said in the comments, hey, just put it out all on the table, Tank, for your Georgia Bulldogs. Take them to cover the number and take the over and all that. And no, that's not how this works. I mean, if I got it, I would not put any money on TCU in the money line, but TCU plus the points, 100%. Yeah, I know, Jeremy. You feel differently about that. He'll
you never know. You never know what I'm going to do. I'm a crazy person.
He is a crazy person.
I'm sun-kissed, and I'm fresh off just a weekend in Florida. You never know what I'll do.
Yeah. But other than that, best bets
San
of the week.
Francisco 49ers by a billion. By 1 billion points.
Yep. I currently have it on, let's see here, Vegas Insider's got it at 10.5.
I've got it at 10, but
okay.
Either way. San Francisco's going to toy with them.
Mm-hmm. I like all the big lines this weekend.
Buffalo minus the 10.5.
Yep.
Cincinnati minus the 6.5. Oh, I'll be honest with you, that's the most interesting game of the weekend to me.
Cincinnati, Baltimore.
It is the most interesting game of the weekend to me because here's where I can't get Lamar Jackson. I feel like this is the greatest fulcrum I think I've ever seen. Lamar is the ultimate team guy. He's also hurt and has been hurt for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think with no security whatsoever, he's going to put himself out there to get hurt again?
Oh, you think he doesn't play?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I just said this is going to be really interesting for me. Because would I blame him in the least if he didn't?
You better.
I wouldn't.
You should.
I wouldn't. I've given you every opportunity to take care of me. Every single opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Maybe I look at this differently now. The events of the last few weeks, maybe Jeremy's had a seeing the light moment. I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, if I was Lamar Jackson, I'd be sitting around going, I don't know that I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'm going to do that. Because from what I've been told, he's about 70%.
Okay.
And that's probably the best you're going to get out of him. And if it's me, I've given you every opportunity to take care of me. I'm not going to risk myself. Not to go out there and get slaughtered by the Bengals, which is exactly what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it very well could. I mean, I feel like yesterday was a statement. Cincinnati came out with something to prove yesterday. You think this is just a coin flip between us and them. They are out there to prove that they are by far better than the Baltimore Ravens, and especially with a backup quarterback.
To me, Cincinnati and Buffalo are on a collision course for each other. That will be quite possibly the greatest NFL game we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not me over-exaggerating that. And whoever wins that, Kansas City, T's and P's. T's and P's for you, for whoever wins that particular ball game.
Right. No, I feel good about all the bigger spreads in the NFL this weekend. And then, of course, TCU plus the 12 or 12.5, 13, whatever it is now. coming up tonight in the national championship game. Of course, we'll talk more about that. Full preview of the game coming up in the 5 o'clock hour after we do the daily draft. We'll do stock up, stock down to start out the 5 o'clock hour. Then talk about the national championship game. We got draft coverage coming up in the 4 o'clock hour with Jeremy Greene's super spicy take for the overall super spicy take for the NFL draft.
I don't even think it's all that spicy. At this point, I think if you don't do it, you're just plain stupid.
It's not really, but I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow.
It will be an argument that I have every day of my life
100%
between now and April 27th.
No doubt about it.
I've already had it on an airplane. I've had it on a plane. I've had it on a beach. I've had it in a hotel room. I've already had this argument for 24 solid hours.
Mm-hmm. Victor Shelton in the comments on the YouTube stream. If you are not involved in the comments, just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can get into the chat. Victor Shelton, he had to ask the question. So the Tennessee Titans, just how bad are they, and how big of a rebuild is this after they obviously lost the AFC Championship game
to a team that couldn't score? Yeah, against the team that
to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I swear to you, if you had told me that Trevor Lawrence had gotten if he had been down in South Beach with us just drinking tequila shots, I would have been convinced. He was so ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the thing that I saw coming the entire way of Josh Dobbs is going to turn this ball over. I said it 3 drives in a row.
Mm-hmm.
There is a turnover coming, and it is going to get you. The thing with Tennessee is, where do you go from here? Look, there are just a lot of teams in the NFL, and I'll be honest with you, Baltimore's one of them, the team we were just talking about. How good is your good, and how bad is your bad? Neither one of those teams is ever going to be 3-14 bad. There's not. As long as Mike Vrabel and John Harbaugh are in the building, you're never going to be that bad. Pittsburgh Steelers, you can lump them into that too.
Mm-hmm.
You're just never going to be. But are you ever really competitive for anything? And for me, that's the worst place you can be. Purgatory. And that's kind of where I feel like they're at. I'm on the record as saying the next quarterback of the Tennessee Titans is Derek Carr if Todd Downing is still in that building. Now, whether he is or not, I have no idea. I've heard both in the last 24 hours.
Right.
So none of it will shock me. With a quarterback, I think you could be competitive for that division in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, the Texans and the Colts are both a wasteland for at least another 12 months.
Well, to me, the Tennessee Titans, they have to realize what they are. Especially now. I mean, this is the 3rd year in a row that you're going into a season going, yeah, I mean, we're okay. We're all right at quarterback. Obviously, when you had A.J. Brown, the weapons were much better. But this past offseason, I mean, you came into the season going, what weapons does he have to use other than Derrick Henry, who is now another year older? There's more tread on the tires. And is that scheme to the point where, quote unquote, anybody can come in and be effective at running back? I think we've seen that over the last couple of years. Derrick Henry gets hurt last season, and then Deontay Foreman comes in and never really skips a beat, has big games. Hassan Haskins. I mean, look, he hasn't played a whole lot, but from what I've seen, I mean, he's right in the line of Derrick Henry. Like, he is the heir apparent to Derrick Henry.
I don't care. It's a running back. I don't care.
No,
if you're hanging your hat right now on a running back in this league, you're already beat before
They have to, because that's all they have. I mean, they'll have Harold Landry coming back on the defense next year. He had the preseason injury that kept him out all year, so that'll boost the defense. I just feel like offensively, you got to go after a quarterback. You got to get another weapon. That's not that huge of a rebuild.
No, I think you're probably the number one contender on Derek Carr. And you have to put pieces around him.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to be in the same exact boat the Raiders were in. Now, you have pieces on the defense. I don't think Tennessee's that listless because you're in a division that's not good. You have one team to contend with, and it's the team, unfortunately, that you lost to on Saturday night.
Right. Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. I feel like that team's only going to get better with experience. We saw Trevor take a turn for the better this year. However, you have got to hold on to the ball. He is right now, in my opinion, living on that Carson Wentz trajectory. And we all know how that's turned out after the last few years. There will be no more Carson Wentz with the Washington Commanders. You know,
Sam
we
Howell,
didn't,
quarterback one season, baby.
we really didn't talk much about the Washington Commanders in our coverage of Dallas and the Commanders game. So let's put a pin in that for a second. That's how we'll end the hour. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Make a New Year's resolution that's easy to keep. Help protect your identity and finances with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. LifeLock detects identity threats you may miss on your own. And if you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS.
Of course, your favorite station is on the free iHeartRadio app. Take us with you anywhere and listen anytime. Plus, get thousands of other stations and playlists all free. Download our free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio. Some people get COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes, and that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy on an Overreaction Monday, also a National Championship Monday as we get ready for number 1 Georgia, number 3 TCU at SoFi Stadium tonight in the National Championship game. Yep, I'm all decked out in my Georgia attire.
I will be at the Village Porch tonight watching the national title game. I'm not going to lie. I have missed domestic lights that didn't cost double-digit doll hairs. And so I might consume 30 of them.
Jeremy was in Miami this past weekend, and everything costs more down on South Beach.
I knew I wasn't in Kansas anymore when HWA and I ordered 2 drinks, $70. 2.
Yikes.
And I've traveled all over this country, and I will say, they were very good drinks. They didn't do my taxes.
Ain't that worth.
So,
They ain't worth that much. Washington Commanders destroyed the Dallas Cowboys yesterday as the Dallas Cowboys just gave them opportunity after opportunity, put the ball in their hands, and they took care of business. 26-6. Now, Washington plays spoiler for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, there wasn't really anything to spoil because Philadelphia took care of business in their game. So they clinched the number 1 seed. They clinched the AFC East. The Washington Commanders, though, end the season on a high note. You go into the offseason. How is Ron Rivera not part of this Black Monday wave of firings?
I'm shocked that you're surprised by it.
I am.
I'm not surprised in the least. Who's gonna take that job not knowing who the owner is with Daniel Snyder still in place? Look, Ron Rivera's the best. I can't tell you he's the best you're going to do. You need an offensive coordinator really bad. But here's what we learned last night. You have your quarterback of the future. It's Sam Howell. You owe it to yourself to give him a full year as the QB1. You want to bring back Taylor Heineke as the backup? More power to you.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam Howell's the guy. And with them picking at what? I know they're in the teens somewhere. I've been staring at this draft order. You'd think I'd have it memorized by now. 16. You're not doing better than that. You're just not. So you can bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. You can do any of these things. Sam Howell's the guy. He was the best quarterback in this draft class, and yesterday he showed why. And if you're Washington, you mix that defense with a mobile quarterback like that, there's reason to be excited.
I would say so.
I'll be honest with you, Washington did exactly what a team that barely missed the playoffs should do. Play the young guy. Give yourself some hope. You care more than they do because, look, Dallas knew Philadelphia was not losing to the Giants. I think there's a part of that went into the mindset of how they went into that game. Is it all of it? No. But you ride the wave. And you go into the offseason saying, we have our quarterback, it's Sam Howell, and you build around that. And I won't be shocked if Washington's a playoff team next year. Won't shock me in the least.
And you build around that, but build around it with Ron Rivera?
I'm fine with it.
And Scott Turner?
No, Scott Turner. I didn't say anything about Scott Turner.
We're done. I think Washington should be done with this. I think now's the time.
I didn't say anything about Scott Turner.
Maybe. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's biggest, hottest, spiciest take coming up next for the NFL Draft.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services of Asheville.
First Restoration Services has been responding 24/7 to property damage from water, fire, and storm damage since 1987. If you have a disaster on your property, there's only one company to call first. First Restoration Services of Asheville, 684-1582.
Some people get COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes, and that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Staples helps you start the new year off right with big savings on everything you need for your business. Now, Staples Reward members get $30 back in a Staples Store bonus when they spend $100. Rewards members only. Store bonus redeemable in store only. Offer ends 1/21. Save big at Staples.
The Sportsocracy.
It's horrible. No, you know what that is? That's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Doctors who've treated Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin, said he is being transferred to a hospital in Buffalo to resume his recovery. Another sign of the remarkable progress he's made 1 week after going into cardiac arrest during a game. Two major shakeups for the Cardinals. The team fired Coach Cliff Kingsbury. Arizona went 28-37-1 with just one playoff appearance in his 4 seasons. He signed an extension through the 2027 season, so Kingsbury does walk away with more than $30 million. In addition, GM Steve Kimes decided to step away from his position to focus on his health. The focal point for Arizona's next coach and GM, quarterback Kyler Murray, explains ESPN's Louis Riddick.
What do we really need to do as far as building a relationship with him, understanding his strengths and weaknesses, both as a player and as a person? How do we maximize those strengths? How do we get the most out of him individually? How do we get the most out of him in a collective sense as far as him being a leader? How do we help him grow into a leader?
Louis Riddick on Fitz and Harry. College football season comes down to this. Georgia TCU in the national title game. 6:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 7:30 Eastern ESPN TV.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Welcome back into ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat and get your thoughts in about the national championship game tonight, the Black Monday firings, who's going to be the next head coach of who, the NFL draft. I mean, we got it all going over the next 2 hours here in the Sportsocracy. And Jeremy, you are much more spry than I thought you were going to be coming in here fresh off a flight from Miami, Florida this morning.
I'm a warrior, baby. Let's go. I'm telling you right now, nuclear fallout, the only thing left, Twinkies, cockroaches, and this guy right here.
The Open is playing, and he's over here raising the roof off camera and all this.
Well, I mean, you know why? It's because you said my name, but what is my name one more time?
Jeremy Greene.
No, say it right. I am your reigning, defending champion of the pick segment, Beat the Chief. Tank I spoke it into existence.
He did.
Tank piddled in his punch bowl, and I am your champion.
I did. Week 16 and week 17 did not go my way. I got 9 games combined right in those 2 weeks, and that allowed Jeremy to erase a 3-game deficit and come out with a 3-win win.
And that, boys and girls, is what the power of positivity will do for you, because I said that was coming for weeks.
Yeah.
And then it did.
The entire season, in fact.
Hubris comes shortly before the fall. And you done fell right on your face.
I did. But, after dominating the game last year, I mean, it's fine.
Dominating, you mean tying with me?
Yeah.
And then we took the national title game, and that's... Oh, so that's actually 2 wins in a row for me.
There will be no tiebreaker.
Yeah, last year was a split national championship, and this year I will hoist the crystal football all by my lonesome.
Indeed, Jeremy finished the season of week 18 at 8-8. Now we did tie this past week, but Chief and I tied for last place, and Jeremy sits alone at the top, winning by 3 games. The total record this year of the Beat the Chief for the champion, 121, 124, and 7. So that's 3 games
good.
Under 500.
That's not good, but your Tampa Bay Buccaneers taught us you don't have to be good.
That's true.
You just have to be the best of the ones that are competing.
That is very true. So congratulations to Jeremy. He has a championship that is just as meaningful as the 2023 NFC South Championship. Congratulations.
I'm going to get a banner.
Jeremy,
I'm going to get a banner to put on my shelf. I think it's a great idea.
You should.
Anybody that does printing things, if you can make me a banner, we'll give you some free love.
The storyline of yesterday, as far as the NFL draft was concerned, was the scoreboard watching we were all doing with the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Texans, because Houston would not go. I mean, they got out to a big lead, and then Indy came back. And just when you thought Indianapolis, they had allowed Indianapolis to do just enough so Houston could lose and secure the number 1 pick in the draft, they didn't. They didn't. Houston comes back to win a meaningless game that still saw their head coach get fired hours later. I got a feeling that might be part of it, that Lovie Smith won that game despite all you had to do was just let Indianapolis have it in the last few moments of the game, and you got the number 1 pick sewed up.
So, as a Jets fan that watched us win a meaningless game to lose Trevor Lawrence, I have now waited for 24 hours to tell Texans fans exactly how this feels coming from a Jets fan watching you do it. You beat the Colts, and now it's going to cost you a fortune to go get the quarterback that we all know you want. Because trust me, there are other teams that will. Mm-hmm. The Indianapolis Colts will. The Carolina Panthers will. Somebody will make that move with the Chicago Bears to go get Bryce Young. If he was 2 inches taller, 20 pounds heavier, we'd be talking about him like Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. He's not, and we don't, but teams view him that way. And they feel like they can build a system around him that will make them Super Bowl contenders in the long run. And that gets me to my spicy take. The Chicago Bears should trade Justin Fields, not the first pick. And to me, it's not even debatable. Mm-hmm. So this is from here on out. You Chicago Bear fans that keep telling me how great Justin Fields is, ask yourself this question. Which would you rather have? Bryce Young with 4 years of rookie deal. You have more money than any team in the NFL to build this out however you want to. You can keep telling me that Fields has no weapons. Who are you going to replace? Cole Kmet, you replacing him? No. You're replacing Chase Claypool, who you just gave up a borderline first-round pick for? No. Are you replacing Darnell Mooney? No. Are you getting better than David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert in the backfield?
No.
No. You can keep lying to yourself all that you want to, but I'm telling you right now, and you mark my words that I said this, you're going to get an offer for Justin Fields. I have a weird feeling it's from the team whose city I just left. Miami Dolphins. If you don't do this, you will regret it for the next 10 years.
I agree.
This is the greatest layup in the history of time. Justin Fields, his stock will never be higher than it is right now. Ever. Ever. Because you have found a way through 2 years to show him to be the athlete that he is. And in times of famine, a McChicken looks like steak tartare. And right now, Justin Fields could look like a franchise quarterback to a team that is what? Desperate. The Miami Dolphins do not have a first-round pick in this draft. They know they have a problem with Tua Tagovailoa. Now, whether he's cleared by medical, whatever, I'm not sure you can lather up with this team again and expect to do this. But you know where I do think Justin Fields can be successful?
Where's that?
With Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Because there's absolutely no way to stop him from doing what it is that he does so well. I never told you he couldn't throw a deep ball. Ever. I never said that. He's got a cannon arm. He's horribly inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
Miami is looking around. I'm telling you, I just spent 4 days in that city. They're looking around going, we have a problem. Because if we can't count on Tua, we are not what we think we are. And we don't have the capital. We don't have the anything to go get somebody that is.
And the question is, how can you think that you're set? How can you look at that quarterback situation in Miami and go, you know, we're fine? Tua's had, 3 concussions now this year?
3 this year.
That's in 1 year.
And that's only one of the potential places that you could do this. Mm-hmm. He's from Atlanta, I think. Isn't he from Atlanta?
Justin Fields, yeah.
the Atlanta Falcons probably would look at him and go, we could sell that.
Mm-hmm.
We could sell that.
100%. With that Arthur Smith system?
There are several teams, because the way this draft broke down, with you having the Houston Texans, the Indianapolis Colts, Las Vegas Raiders, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, all in the top 9. Those 3 quarterbacks are not making it out of the top 5. Somebody's going to move.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Chicago and you do not either move the first pick or trade Justin Fields, you are the dumbest franchise in the NFL. So you're going to do one or the other. One makes a ton of sense. It sounds weird. Oh, did Ryan Poles draft Justin Fields, yes or no?
No.
The answer's no. And what have we seen with GMs in the NFL? They really love having their guy.
They want their guy, yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, I've watched the tape. I've watched it backwards and forwards because it's really hard to get into arguments every day when you don't know what you're talking about. So I've watched it and rewatched it and rewatched it again. A team will give you a stupid deal. You can bail yourself out of a horrible mistake that you made 2 years ago. And you can get Bryce Young, and you can use the money that you have to build around him. And 1 year from now, you can be in the playoffs. Or you can trade him off, watch him become a franchise quarterback for somebody else, and you'll kick yourself for it for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your 2 choices. There's no in between.
You need to try to recoup draft capital.
You lost 10 games in a row with him.
Mm-hmm.
And before you tell me, well, he doesn't have any receivers. Okay, you got one spot because you're committed to Mooney and you're committed to Chase Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
That's not getting better. Can the defense get better? Yes. Nothing here is going to change. Your offensive line was actually pretty good. Somebody will give you a stupid offer for him. I promise you.
How stupid, though?
Second rounder this year, first rounder next year.
Okay.
2-1, done. Bye.
I'm in.
See you, bye.
I'm in.
And it might be more than that. It wouldn't shock me in the least if it was more than that.
I don't think it's who was it in the No Smiles in the comments said trade Fields to the Colts for 4. That's not going to happen.
I'm not so sure of that.
I don't think it would.
I'm not so sure of that.
Is there a coach in the league that looks at him and goes, "Yeah, I can get number 4 level production out of him"?
After this year, maybe.
Draft.
After this year, maybe. You can look at what Philadelphia did with Jalen Hurts, who I argue is a much better thrower of the football. He's much more accurate than Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think one of these desperate teams would do something? Absolutely. And the one that I'm looking at is Atlanta at 8. I'm looking at Atlanta at 8 going, would you give up 8 for him? And the answer is probably yes.
Really?
It's probably. And if they offered it, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't think about it for a second.
Absolutely.
You give me the number 8 pick in the draft. I have 2 picks in the top 8. I build around Bryce Young. Because I'll be honest with you, guess who you can get at number 8? Quentin Johnston, who you're going to see tonight. And now I have a formidable offense. I'm going to have to build the defense, but I also got more money than any team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Poles boo-boo kiddied when he made that deal for Chase Claypool, which is now the 33rd overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft. For a guy who caught, 17 balls?
Oh, it was
for the Chicago
horrible
Bears?
deal. But that's the thing. You have to look at where a GM is. He can't give up on Chase Claypool. That has to be, at worst, year 2.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you going to recoup it? You got to recoup this somewhere. That's the thing about the NFL.
Or you don't.
The NFL's a lot
if
like
you can, if you can get if you can recoup draft capital from the Justin Fields deal, you can give up on Chase Claypool. There's no guaranteed money left on that deal.
You can't give up on Chase. You gave up the 33rd pick or 32nd pick in the draft, which is basically.
But it all comes out in the wash at the end.
It doesn't matter. That's Elemento fired. You did that. But Chase Claypool's proven he can be a 2 in this league. Darnell Mooney can be a slot receiver in this league.
Mm-hmm.
You need that one. Mm-hmm. You need that number 1 guy. I am giving you the possibility to go get one of the best franchise quarterbacks we've seen in the draft in 10 years. And give him a number 1 receiver, and you do it all for just the cost of a quarterback that you know exactly what he is if you watch the tape and you're honest with yourself. You can lie all you want to. I know you're obsessed with getting a franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. I get it. I'm a 30-year Jet fan. I just flew, 600 miles to go see Joe Falco. I get it, okay? I 100% get it. That ain't your guy. You just got gift-wrapped a franchise quarterback. Could he bust out? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at percentages, I would say Bryce Young is 80% franchise quarterback. Justin Fields is 8. But there's a team that will be desperate enough to pay you like he's that 80. Could be the Falcons, could be the Miami Dolphins, could be a slew of teams. I've never in my life seen a team that has completely bungled every decision they've made for 3 years get gift-wrapped a get-out-of-this card like the Chicago Bears just were. Now, the question is Ryan Poles the guy I've been told he is by every person I know in the NFL? Because this is going to require – you're going to have to be pretty secure with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this backfires, you're going to get fired. I don't think it's going to.
You're going to get fired regardless.
I think Justin Fields will get you fired in 2 years regardless.
Absolutely.
Because there's almost no way for you to recover from this. You can throw first-round picks at things. It's not as dire straits as you think, and this kid's been awful at times. You can bail yourself out of this in a way that just ties up nicely. There is nobody that does what I do that does not have Bryce Young as the number one quarterback in this class. Not one. They don't exist. C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, there's some debate there. Those two could easily get GMs fired. Won't shock me in the least. Bryce Young is not getting anybody fired. I'm headed down to the Senior Bowl 3 weeks from now. I guarantee you I'm going to come back from that and go, wow, weird. I went from 20 evaluators I know to 100, and they all have Bryce Young at 1. This is the way to set your franchise up. You either do it or you'll regret that you didn't for the next decade.
It's the Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Light delays, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound is slow east of the Blue Ridge Parkway to approaching Airport Road. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road, moving from Sandhill Road to Pond Road, traffic is slow. Smoky Park Highway moving well. Patton Avenue, no problems. New Leicester Highway, incident-free. Merriman Avenue, no backups, and Biltmore Avenue moving well. Hendersonville Road, delay-free. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, some delays. I'm Lyndon Field with your time-saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Is it getting harder to find new customers? After all, it's one thing to run a business and another to grow it. But what if you had access to everyone listening to me right now? Access to all the customers in your area. As the #1 audio company in America, iHeartMedia gives you access to all the customers you need to grow at a fraction of the cost of digital, video, and social advertising. Get started today. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Some people get COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes, and that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
It has been the best year of my life because of the PhD weight loss program. I've lost over 90 pounds. I feel like I have a new lease on life because PhD has given me all the tools to success to finally conquer my weight problem. They've given me so much support. I cannot thank the health coaches at PhD enough for helping me stay motivated throughout this entire process.
I have long not had a weight problem. I've had a lazy problem. Fast food was easier. Hectic schedule, you just do what you do on the fly. After a year on PhD, I'm back to my high school weight. All of the health issues that I was having have gone away, and it's all thanks to the planning program of PhD weight loss.
It is amazing how you feel when you lose a tiny person Losing 90 pounds with PhD in a year, they can help you have the best year of your life going forward. It's time to start making all of those New Year's resolutions. Probably a good time to go over and visit myphdweightloss.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and good way to end the season, I guess. The Carolina Panthers got a win in New Orleans yesterday, 10-7, on the leg of Eddie Pinheiro, in a game that nobody wanted to win.
No.
Nobody wanted to win. I don't think anybody wanted to watch it. Obviously, you've got two teams here that have got a lot of thinking to do coming up in the offseason.
Well, look, we're in a Carolina Panther market. I don't know if this is me being the bearer of bad tidings or if I'm just telling you what you already know. You better get real comfortable with the idea of Sam Darnold being your quarterback.
But why?
Well, you're not going to get one of the rookies. Do you realize what it would cost? All right, Will Levis, who I have been just crucified for saying he's going to be a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Moving up from 9 to get him at, I would say the earliest you could go would be Arizona, probably.
Yep.
Cost your first and second round pick. This team's not good enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the roster's good, don't get me wrong. But that's a lot to give up for a quarterback that he might be good in the right system.
Do we have money to spend? That's the question. Do the Carolina Panthers have enough money to spend that they can go out and they can get that quarterback? They can get Derek Carr on the market. They can get dirt cheap Jimmy Garoppolo somewhere. If what Jeremy says is true about every moment that Brock Purdy lives and breathes as the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, and they continue to look like a world beater, if he's costing Jimmy Garoppolo money, then that's bargain time.
Carolina currently has $1.6 million in cap space.
Ooh, that's not good.
So, yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay, that's not good.
I mean, and you can obviously manipulate the number. But
of course.
There are ways around that, but no, they're not going to have high-level cap space.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, I think Darnold's probably the right call anyway. Here's a fun story. He's 6 months younger, or he's 6 months older than Hendon Hooker, who will go in probably the late second, early third. You could draft Tanner McKee, but let me go ahead and tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get a repackaged Davis Mills. He's got a much bigger arm, but he's not as accurate.
Mm-hmm. Less impressive neck.
Yes, he does not look like he was spawned from a giraffe. So there is that.
Right. You got a head coaching decision to make if you're the Carolina Panthers. Do we go with Steve Wilkes? Do we
no?
Do we throw the money at Jim Harbaugh or Sean Payton or whoever? Whoever it takes.
This is going to be an interesting offseason. And obviously it starts with your decision at head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that starts with Jim Harbaugh's going to have to tell me no, which I don't think he's going to. I fully believe the next head coach of the Denver Broncos will be Dan Quinn.
Okay.
I think Sean Payton probably ends up back in New Orleans. And then you look around and go, is Jim Harbaugh going back to Indianapolis or is he going to go to Carolina? Because I feel like he's going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think his statement of, I fully intend to be back in Michigan, cool, then why are you interviewing with the Denver Broncos? And that broke about 9 seconds after the season ended,
mm-hmm.
which means you already had that schedule when you put out that statement. I fully believe Jim Harbaugh's taking a job. And if I'm Carolina, it's going to be mine. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be outspent on him.
No.
You're not getting Sean Payton. You're not giving up the capital. You don't have the capital. Because New Orleans is going to want to absolutely kill somebody. That's the reason Sean Payton's not going to Denver.
Yep. Yesterday in Miami, Jeremy got to see one of the greatest blunders in a final play. Not of all time. It was just of this year, because who can forget what the New England Patriots did what the New England Patriots did against the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's the old pitchy woo-woo.
Oh, the old pitchy woo-woo. The Stanford play did not work for the New York Jets. Like,
I
I'm
laughed
watching that.
the whole way out of the stadium.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I laughed hard watching that last play going, oh, my God, because I thought you were going to do it. I thought that I think it was Christian Wilkins had a shot at that ball in the end zone, or at least right outside the end zone. I thought, oh, you're going to lose on a touchdown trying to do something stupid in a game that you didn't even care to win.
I don't understand what difference does the touchdown have anything to do with anything.
I just would have been a better highlight play.
Nah, it was a safety. So it was.
Yeah, but
I don't really care
but
how
nobody
that
really
ended.
even knew that for a while.
Oh,
Afterwards.
100% they did. Anybody that had a betting slip on it did. Asheville Police Chief David Zach knew, I promise you. I wasn't even out of the state because the line was Jets plus 3.5. They were down 3.
Not when we picked it. It was 2.5.
Well, as of yesterday morning, it was 3.5. Because trust me, there's a lot of people that were holding slips from casinos that were cursing the Jets.
The safety at the end of the game.
I was in this stadium, and I'm going to reaffirm something that I've said many times. The experience in the stadium is the most overrated thing on the planet Earth. My lovely wife, we had great seats right on the 50-yard line. Saw everything. By the fourth quarter, I think she hated everyone in that stadium, specifically anybody that was really close to her. Because it's hot and you're cramped in there. Watch them at home. Or get a job in sports and watch them from the suite. Because the suite is fantastic.
It is.
The suite's great. In the stadium, And if a stadium ever says, hey, we have an Uber lot, don't do that. I learned that the hard way.
An Uber lot?
A ride share lot. Miami has one. It's 2 miles from the stadium.
Yikes.
Yeah. Then you get there, and Uber drivers can't get in. It took us 2.5 hours to get away from the stadium. By the end of that, I went, yep, alcohol. What kind? Don't care.
All of it.
Yep. Yes, all of it. Give it to me.
11-6, the Miami Dolphins beat the Jets. Dolphins clinching a playoff spot.
Woohoo!
So
good for you.
Congratulations. They get to go up to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills.
By the way, did you know the Dolphins had a really annoying little song? I did not know that.
I'm sure they did.
Oh, it is horrid. Oh, it is. It makes the Bills song sound like Hey Jude. I mean, it is.
Can you sing it for us? Can you give us a
no,
clip?
we'll find it in the break.
Okay.
Frankly, I heard it, and then blood started coming out of my ears, and I went, oh, boy. I have to get out of here. Then people kept yelling obscenities at me, and I went, no. That's an 8-5, don't foe. I am way too far from home to be. Bail would be tough down here.
Wow. Yeah, Dolphins clinching a playoff spot with the win over the Jets. It was close down to the end. The drama on Red Zone yesterday, going back and forth between all of these games that had playoff implications, was phenomenal.
That may be the worst game I've ever been at the stadium for. I honestly think you could have played 7-on-7 and still nobody would have scored. It was a pathetic display of offensive football.
Yes.
And if you're telling me that Dolphins team is who's coming in to play the Buffalo Bills this week, I probably wouldn't waste the time, because that will end badly.
Not a pathetic display of football is what the San Francisco 49ers are putting on the field these days. They demolished the Arizona Cardinals, and, well, that season ended up pretty much how we predictable it with the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about Black Monday coming up next here on ESPN Asheville. First, let's get weird.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
I have heard of some interesting thoughts about taking care of your Christmas decorations. When should they come down? When should they go up?
Is your Christmas tree up right now?
Absolutely.
Yep, mine too.
Absolutely. The Christmas tree is still up. We missed the National Takedown Day, though. This past Friday was National Take Down Your Christmas Tree Day. It's always on January 6th. The tradition is that that's the last day of Christmas, the 12 days of Christmas. They don't end on Christmas Day. They run some arbitrary window of right before Christmas to January the 6th. So, anyhow, I found this, though, on WCNC's website. That's one of the Charlotte TV stations. And they did an interview with a doctor who gave some very interesting advice because I had never heard of this before. Now, I've heard of people, holding on to their Christmas trees, throwing them out in the backyard later to burn once they dry out. I have never heard of this way of getting rid of your Christmas tree. You eat it. Uh-huh.
Excuse me?
Apparently, there are people in this world who eat their Christmas trees. Now, Dr. Carla Robinson told WCNC Charlotte that certain Christmas trees are edible. However, consuming the one in your home is probably not your best bet for a number of reasons, including if you don't know exactly what kind of tree it is, because there are like cypress trees and cedar trees that are harmful to you if you ingest them. But if you have like I forgot what they called it here, but it's basically just like an organic pine. You can use the needles of the pine tree and make like tea out of it, and you can eat the needles, but another doctor that they talked to doesn't recommend that. He's like, this is how I imagine what he said. I just read the quote, but I imagine it went like this. You realize that those needles, they're sharp, and when you ingest them, they can do damage to your esophagus,
yeah,
right?
It's a bad call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad call.
I don't feel it. And God forbid you suffer from something like diverticulitis. I mean, geez, that's going to be some bleeding that you don't want to see. Because those needles are going to get stuck in all kinds of manner of places inside your body.
I just see somewhere in, let's pick a state. Let's go Arkansas. Somebody tries to deep fry their Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if that's going to be on the menu next year at the Texas State Fair for the Red River rivalry game. They fry everything down there. Here you go, fried Christmas tree.
Somebody will probably try to do it with a fake tree.
Don't do weird things. Take your Christmas tree, put it out in the backyard, burn it, take it to a recycling center. So don't eat the dang thing.
It's so much easier than that. I am here again for the third year in a row, championing the idea of the everyday tree. Leave it up, decorate it for Valentine's Day,
Obviously
throw some hearts on it.
One.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't leave a real tree in your house. That's a fire hazard.
That's kindling.
Bingo. Put hearts on it for Valentine's Day. Domestic lights on it for St. Patrick's Day. 4th of July, you got fireworks and domestic lights again. There's a lot of domestic lights on
it. It is
tree.
2023, so I feel like maybe we need to say this. By the way, this story is about real trees. Do not try to eat a fake tree. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, that's the thing we have to do.
Uh-huh.
I am championing the everyday tree. Just decorate it for every holiday and be festive all year long. And don't forget to decorate it for the greatest holiday, which is Draftmas. A historic Wisconsin canal was filled with a strange substance last week. It was in Portage, Wisconsin. There was a fire at the Associated Milk Producers Incorporated plant after 9 p.m. Here's something I did not think about. What happens if a fire catches at a dairy plant? What do they keep in there? It's not just milk. There's other products in there.
Cows?
No. Butter.
Okay.
Apparently, there was a large reserve of butter that when it caught on fire, what's butter do when it gets hot?
It melts.
It melts. And apparently it ran into the canal.
Oh.
Which also made it impossible for fire trucks to get there. Because the road turned into a saute pan and was covered in butter.
That's a non-stick road right there.
Without a doubt, the most delicious road in the United States.
100%.
For one calendar day.
would you or would you not eat asphalt covered in butter?
Alabama State Fair, I guarantee you they already do it. Fire Chief Tony Haas said that the firefighters were up to their knees in butter. As it heated, the butter began to flow throughout the structure and then eventually ran into the nearby canal. No injuries were reported, and the fire remains under investigation.
Melted butter flowing through the streets.
Delicious.
Sounds
butter.
Like paradise to me.
Personally, it sounds like the most delicious road in the United States.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Yes, today, Black Monday in the NFL. We've had one coach firing today, had one last night, had a few through the season. We'll get you caught up on all of the action that didn't really benefit several guys in the NFL. Coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday, and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. With light delays, 26 eastbound between Brevard Road and Long Shoals Road. Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road, traffic is very busy. On the Smoky Park Highway, no backups or problems. Patton Avenue moving incident-free. New Leicester Highway, no delays. Sweeten Creek Road moving well. Checking the drive time from Bent Creek to Avery Creek via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 9 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We could talk about how complicated other banks make it to redeem credit card rewards. Or we could talk about how with Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time. Talk about amazing. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
The music we listen to all year long. The anthems that were our soundtrack for 2022. And the stars who made the songs we love will all be celebrated.
Live from Los Angeles on Fox.
March 27th.
Let's get it started. Be here as this year's nominees are unveiled. Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Start the new year by making your home feel like new with the advanced cleaning of Zero Res. Take advantage of their New Year sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119 when you mention ESPN Asheville. You'll get a hallway clean for free. ZeroResAsheville.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelly Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We'll take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number one. That's the song you heard down there.
That's awesome.
It's only been around since the 70s. It's bad. The Houston Oilers stole it during the 70s, too. So you can just replace Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers.
It is.
So
I honestly, I swear to you, I thought it was somebody's birthday, and they were poorly singing happy birthday to whoever it was.
In a Mexican restaurant.
And then it kept happening. Like, every time they would kick a field goal, this song kept happening, and I went, you get that this is bad, right? Like, I mean, am I watching a different game here? Nobody's winning this.
That's about as good as the New York Jets.
Or Lou Holt's fight song?
Yeah.
One day I'll sing that for YouTube.
Or the Here We Go song for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's awful, too.
I'm glad you had a great time down there.
It
got to experience the offensive shootout of the season.
I will say this. Miami is a place, much like Las Vegas, you should only go for 3 days. Unless you make way more money than I do.
Yeah.
I ate amazing food. Some of the best seafood I've ever eaten in my life. And then the bill came, and I went, oh, boy. This hurts a lot.
All right, let's give a round of applause to sports freak Brian Hall.
Thank you.
For
Coming
the
up,
Miami Dolphins fight song.
Coming up tonight, 6 o'clock. We're back on, first show of the year. So excited about that and talking basketball. Mike Morrell will be on with us at 6:30. We got Brett Freelander. And we got, of course, a big preview of your dogs tonight.
Hell yeah.
I also want it said that I have now done 2 UNCA games, and they are 2-0. So
That's
in the
true.
2 games I've done.
Very true. So, huge game this week against Longwood, too, Thursday night.
Sports Freaks at 6 o'clock on News Radio 570 WWNC. Thank
See ya.
you, boss man Brian Hall, for the wonderful rendition of the Miami Dolphins fight song.
See, now the bad thing is that now I know the song. I know the words to that song. Before, it was just like a bad song that I heard on the radio, and what is that horrible tune that's in my head? Now I know the words.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate at best.
All right, Black Monday has arrived. Earlier today, it was announced that Cliff Kingsbury has been fired as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Steve Keim officially stepping away as the GM of the Cardinals as well. We already kind of knew that. I mean, he had taken a leave of absence from the team because of health reasons, and then it was reported that sources were saying that they were going to go in a different direction, that he was going to step aside, but that all being made official today. Steve Keim will be gone. They will replace him at GM, and Cliff Kingsbury has been fired. Now, it was only just a few hours after the Houston Texans blew the number 1 pick in the draft by beating the Indianapolis Colts that the Houston Texans fired Lovie Smith. 2nd year in a row, they have had a head coach last 1 year. And it's not like you set them up for success.
No, you gave them 2 XFL rosters, and then you fired them.
Mm-hmm.
They have requested interviews with 4 candidates. Asheville's very own Ben Johnson, D'Amico Ryans, Jonathan Gannon, and Ajiro Avero from the Denver Broncos.
And I don't feel like any of those dudes would take that job.
I hope they don't. Here's my advice. Don't interview with them. This is not a career longevity spot. This is a place that has shown they are the biggest dumpster fire in sports. It is an absolute joke that you have now 2 years in a row taken 2 very well-respected guys in this league, giving them a shot as a head coach and giving them an XFL roster and then fired them when they lost.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to tell you what the Patriot way is? Because I'm watching Nick Casario do this. Oh, we're building ourselves around the Patriot model. You take away Tom Brady, and the Patriot model is a big old flaming grumper that somebody lights on fire in a paper bag and leaves on your doorstep. Oh, that is such a train wreck franchise.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, as Bill Belichick is proving, it can make you 8-9.
That's with
year.
Bill.
Right.
You know what it is with everybody else? The Detroit Lions with Pat Matricia.
Yeah.
The Jets with Eric Mangini.
So the Cardinals and the Texans now join the Broncos, the Colts, and the Panthers, all officially being separated from their head coaches that they started the season with and now are in the market for a new head coach. We know obviously the Steve Wilkes story. There's a lot of people in the fan base. There's a lot of people in that locker room that probably would like to see Steve Wilkes get that head coaching job. The problem is that's not selling anybody.
I'm not even worried about it selling. I just don't think it works. I mean, look, one way or the other, you're either going in this with Sam Darnold, who will now be learning his 5th system in 6 years, or you're going to have a young quarterback, or Steve Wilkes, it's just not it. If you want to be the defensive coordinator, okay, I get it. You're going to have to go get a head coach. I feel the same way with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sure Jeff Saturday's a super nice guy. I'm sure if you were finding somebody to go out for domestic lights with, he'd probably be really high on the list. If you hire him, good luck. And if Sean Payton's not the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints, he will be in Arizona, and I feel very sure of that.
Really?
It's the only job that he talked about, allegedly, in the inner circles of the NFL. That's the only job he's talked about wanting that's open. Chargers, Brandon Staley's not getting fired whether he should or not. Dallas Cowboys, they're not firing Mike McCarthy. Not to pay Sean Payton $25 million. Now, if he comes out and lays an egg against the Bucks, it'll be talked about, but it won't happen. And if they do, it will be promote Dan Quinn, not go outside of the franchise.
Not get Sean Payton.
I can't. I struggle to believe that would happen. So, to me, Sean Payton either winds up with the New Orleans Saints or the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if it's not Sean Payton in Arizona, I struggle to see who is really going to want to do that. It's one of the most cash-poor teams in the league. You don't have a GM. And you're tied to Kyler Murray. Yeah. So it's not very attractive.
Is that the job that Eric Bieniemy finally gets?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he's going to get calls.
Scenario.
The problem for Eric Bieniemy, he's going to run into the same problem he's had before. Teams want to have their head coach solidified within the next 2 weeks. I don't see any way that Kansas City's not still playing.
I mean, is that not a scenario where they can let him interview?
Oh, he can interview this week.
Right.
But then you got to wait. And if they go to the Super Bowl, then you got to wait 2 more weeks. I'm just looking around the league at the candidates that you can have right now. You can have Ben Johnson right now. And I fully believe after what I saw last night, he's getting a job in this cycle.
I would probably say you're right.
I almost refuse to believe it doesn't happen.
Former AC Reynolds guy, and he's been bouncing around different teams. He was with the Miami Dolphins. Of course, he's now the offensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. But this is his
and he
first
threw
year
up
as
a
an OC.
master class last night in how to call plays. The touch, hook, and ladder from Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's one of the most brilliant calls I've ever seen. When you have nothing to lose. I mean, it would be one thing if you run that and you have to win this game to go to the playoffs. And I don't think he would have called it if that was the case. Last night, empty out the playbook, it's brilliant. That's the kind of innovative mind that teams around this league are looking for. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Carolina Panthers, if you're not on the phone with Ben Johnson right now, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Do you have to bring in a veteran defensive coordinator? Steve Wilkes! Oh, look, I solved 2 problems at once. Weird. That's the ideal scenario.
Yeah, keep that influence in the building with Steve Wilkes and go with the offensive guru as the head coach.
And he's a homegrown talent from this state. That is as good. There is no better solution outside of Jim Harbaugh.
Outside of Jim Harbaugh, yeah.
Who we'll see what he does. But if Ben Johnson's not your plan B, I'm going to need you to explain to me why.
Well, we've already talked about the Ken Dorsey thing. Ken Dorsey's got connections with the Charlotte franchise.
He does, and I think Ken Dorsey probably runs into the same thing Eric Bieniemy does. All right, if Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl, you're a month out from naming your coach. And then some. I struggle to believe that. And you just got to look at the time frame. All right, the Senior Bowl is the first week of next month. You're going to go into that without a head coach. That seems like you're behind the eight ball.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had a head coach the last time, and hell, he coached the game, and that didn't help him out. So I don't see what that matters.
No, it 100% matters because you're evaluating all these players.
But that's why you have a scouting department. That's why you have other people.
Yeah,
involved.
and whoever the coach is going to want his own guys. Basically, you put the entire franchise on pause, waiting on a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle to believe you're going to do that when you have so many good candidates out there.
It's one of those things when we get into talking about this topic and waiting on a coach, are you not better off to get the guy 2 weeks late than you are to make a decision now and get the wrong guy?
Well, if that's assuming that there is only one right choice, which is not the case. This is a year that there are a ton of great candidates for these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only 4 of them out there. And 2 of these jobs are not good.
Okay, let's do that. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we will talk about that. Who is at the top of the list? Who are the candidates to look at in these cycles? You got the Cardinals, the Texans, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Panthers all looking for head coaches. Could other jobs open up? I'm sure we're not done yet. But you never know. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving problem-free on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume is busy, but moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound and southbound approaching Sand Hill Road delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road light delays. On Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road, expect some slowdowns. Checking the drive time from Mills River to Hendersonville via NC 191 southbound, drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs.
I never thought I'd care about gardening until I bought a house in the suburbs. But now I find myself in conversations about liquid fertilizer, and I wonder, am I the fertilizer guy now? No way. Everyone knows the ratio between phosphorus and nitrogen, right? Yeah, I'm still totally cool.
Anyway, when you save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto, that's the easy part of adjusting to the suburbs. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
I hate the struggle of tough, greasy messes on my stovetop. So I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
When I'm frustrated with stubborn bathtub soap scum, I just freak, wipe, and I'm done.
Mr. Clean Clean Freak delivers an innovative cleaning experience with a powerful deep cleaning mist that starts working on contact to break down tough messes in seconds.
Just freak,
wipe, done.
Only the free iHeartRadio app gives you access to everything you love, from the stations that keep you company, the music that keeps you singing along, to the podcasts that keep you entertained. Not to mention chances to win cash and once-in-a-lifetime artist experiences only on the app. And it's always 100% free. Only iHeartRadio gives you access to the music, radio, and podcasts you love. Download it for free in the App Store.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Black Monday in the NFL. We've got openings now in Arizona. We got an opening with the Houston Texans. Lovie Smith getting fired last night. We have the other standing openings from around the league. So who are the candidates? You said there are only 4.
No. I said Houston had asked to interview 4.
Okay. I was going to say there are a bunch of
candidates.
candidates.
No. There are a ton of candidates. Houston has requested permission on 4 of them. I struggle to believe that Houston's not going to end up with D'Amico Ryans. He played there. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot of sense. And this feels like the time that they're going to make the long-term hire. Lovie Smith never felt like a long-term hire, which is what made me feel bad for him. Ben Johnson's going to be really high on my list. I want the young offensive guy, and that's Shane Steichen from the Philadelphia Eagles will be really high.
Mm-hmm. Ken Dorsey.
I don't know.
Those are the only ones.
It may be early. It may be early on Ken Dorsey.
Well, why would it be too early for Ken Dorsey and not too early for Ben Johnson?
You took an offense
for a year.
You took an offense that was really not good and turned it into one of the most prolific in the NFL. There's just a difference between the two. Ken Dorsey walked into what Brian Daboll did.
True.
And Ben Johnson took Jared Goff to Pro Bowl level.
The list starts at 1 and 2. Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. Now, Sean Payton, it's assumed by many that he is going to go back to New Orleans.
That's the only other job that I could see opening. I think you're done at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then New Orleans if Sean Payton agrees to come back. Which he may not.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing you got to remember here. Sean Payton can be very picky if he wants to be.
Is this the cycle that Eric Bieniemy gets the head coaching job? Kellen Moore? I don't know. I just don't know. His name was hot last year. And, did the Dallas Cowboys offense, the way it looked this year, I know they had up and down, they obviously had the injury to Dak, and Cooper Rush still came in and won games, but did you look at that and go, man, this is a prolific offense. We need to have that guy.
I just feel like he's been passed. If I had to take a puncher's guess at it, I would say the Indianapolis Colts end up with Jim Harbaugh. They outspend David Tepper.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson and Steve Wilkes wind up with the Panthers. I will say Sean Payton goes back to New Orleans because I've just heard that too often. D'Amico Ryans to the Texans. And then Arizona becomes the difficult one. I don't even know that I have a guess on that one at this point. If it's not Sean Payton, I don't know where they go from there.
Right.
That's going to be a tough sell of Kyler Murray committing yourself to – it'll be a first-time guy if it's not Sean Payton.
Maybe. Or maybe Frank Reich wants to take the job.
I'm going to say I doubt that.
It is the Sportsocracy here on ESPN. Asheville Sports Center is coming up next, and then it'll be time for the Daily Draft. Stock up, stock down from the weekend that was.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday, and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving problem-free on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume is busy but moving well. Smoky Park Highway northbound and southbound approaching Sand Hill Road delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road light delays. On Merriman Avenue northbound approaching Edgewood Road, expect some slowdowns. Checking the drive time from Mills River to Hendersonville. via NC 191 southbound. Drive time 16 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. When temperatures drop, COVID-19 cases may rise. So if you test positive and are at high risk, act fast. Even if your symptoms feel mild, ask your provider if an authorized oral treatment could be right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer. This winter, there are new COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. If it's been at least 2 months since your primary series or original booster, schedule your updated COVID-19 booster dose at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Sports Center. I'm Christine Lisi. Bill safety Damar Hamlin's been released from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center and transferred to a hospital in Buffalo to resume his recovery. Another sign of the remarkable progress he's made 1 week after going into cardiac arrest during a game. And he certainly enjoyed the Bills' win yesterday, especially teammate Nyheim Hines' opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Explains UCMC doctor Tim Pritz.
You watched the game on yesterday. When the opening kickoff was run back, he jumped up and down, got out of his chair, set, I think, every alarm off in the ICU in the process. But he was fine. It was just an appropriate reaction to a very exciting play. So he very much enjoyed it and enjoys the support from everyone.
Cliff Kingsbury's time in Arizona is over. The Cardinals fired their head coach 10 months after signing him to an extension through the 2027 season, so he walks away with over $30 million. His 4-year tenure marred by underachieving and undisciplined football and one playoff appearance. In addition, Cardinals GM Steve Keim stepping away from his position in order to focus on his health.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from ESPN Asheville.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
And we inch ever closer to the kickoff of the national championship game tonight in L.A. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. Number 3, TCU Horny Toads. And that game, of course, crowning the champion of them all. Will it be back-to-back championships for the Georgia Bulldogs after 40 years of futility? Or will TCU do the unthinkable? We didn't even expect them to be here. Didn't even expect them to sniff the playoff. And then they upset Michigan last week. And now they get a chance to take down the defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk more about that coming up later on in this hour. Jeremy will have his official picks for tonight's action. Plus, he's got an I'm Mad cooked up for the end of the hour. So we will we'll wrap all that into the next to last segment of the hour, the national championship preview, along with Jeremy's Green on Green picks for tonight's Natty. Now, it's time for the daily draft. Stock up, stock down. We do it every Monday right here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the Sportsocracy, of course. Heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Stock up, stock down. Jeremy, you got the first pick here because, well, the games that I picked on Friday were not very entertaining. And the games you picked, well, one of them was the Jets and Miami game.
Because I had to.
You had to. But then you had Detroit and Green Bay, which is interesting. Jacksonville, Tennessee. So you win. You win Friday's draft, so you got number one pick. Who's stock up, stock down, number one for the weekend?
I'm going to start with a stock down, and it's not a team. It's a coach. It's Matt LaFleur. I feel like at some point we have to stop giving him an excuse for losing big games. There was no excuse for losing last night.
Mm-hmm.
You have the future Hall of Famer at quarterback. You have the team that has been here before. And you're at home. And I just felt like Detroit was one step ahead of him the entire game. It didn't matter what it was. And I know Detroit didn't really take the lead until late. It doesn't matter. You cannot lose that game. And I feel like no matter what happens in this offseason, I've already said I think you have seen the last of Aaron Rodgers. He looked like a spent fighter to me that had been knocked to the canvas and did not have the desire to get up. That's what I saw. And if you go into next year with Jordan Love and this cast of characters, and you look around that division, what the Bears could be, not saying what they will be, what they could be. What I've already seen, the defending, what will be the defending NFC North champions, Minnesota Vikings, and that upstart Lions team that you just lost to last night. There's a possibility you're the worst team in this division. And with Jordan Love, I think you would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, to me, would lead me to think that it's going to get late early for Matt LaFleur. And then I don't really know where I don't know how you categorize him. He's one of the winningest coaches in NFL history by winning percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't view him that way. I view him as a coach that was born on third base and acts like he hit a triple.
So he's Ryan Day of the NFL.
Kind of, yeah. That's actually the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, he walked into this job after Mike McCarthy got eschewed out of Green Bay. He gets handed Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Goes 13-3, 3 years in a row? And then you lose Devontae Adams, and here you had an 8-9 season, not good. Aaron Rodgers is not happy. It's not. I don't feel like it's going to end well.
And Steven Towner, YouTube comment, said Romeo Doubs dropped how many balls that hit him in the hands? But that's kind of my point. We do that in every big game. It's not always on his play call, has been at times. It's not always a decision he makes. It's just always something.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point does that keep happening that you eventually have to turn it back on him and go, can you win a big game of any kind?
No.
Because seemingly he's lost every one I've ever seen.
Is that Aaron Rodgers? Is it Aaron Rodgers can't win the big game, or is it Matt LaFleur can't win the big game? And I honestly believe it's a little bit of both.
Well, and there's another layer to this. Let's say somehow Aaron decides, I'm going to play, but it's not going to be in Green Bay. And he forces his way out by whatever means. I'm not even going to hypothesize what that would look like, anything like that. Think about the places he could end up. Because the number one most likely is my New York Jets. If you're telling me I get Aaron Rodgers, with that team coming back healthy and that defense, it's going to make Matt LaFleur look bad in a hurry. Because I could see a path that team is Super Bowl competitive.
Yeah, especially when his brother gets it done.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about him. Oh, I think he's going.
Oh, you
somewhere.
Think so?
I very much do.
Okay, all right.
And I'll tell you a name.
Well, for
to
your
watch
sake,
out.
I hope he does.
Yeah, I'll tell you a name to watch out for too. Gary Kubiak.
Interesting. Okay.
He's like the godfather of that system. He retired
in the Shanahan system, yeah.
And everything I hear, Woody really wants an experienced somebody in that building because he is rather upset about how this season ended.
As he should be.
I don't disagree.
Okay, so Matt LaFleur is your stock down to open up today's daily draft. I'm going with a stock up. You know me, narrative guy. Always like to see always like to see the NFL community come together. And the support for Damar Hamlin this past weekend was unbelievable, as you expected it would be. Look, all of the T-shirts. I got to get me one of those shirts, by the way. The Did We Win shirt. Have you seen that?
No.
It's got Damar's hands doing the heart, and it says, "Did we win?" which is the first thing he said when he woke up in the hospital.
Yeah. By the way, we hadn't mentioned this yet, but he is coming home to Buffalo.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's leaving the hospital. He has been released. Now he's going into a treatment.
He's going into the hospital in Buffalo.
Yeah, he's going into from what I saw, it was a hospital, yes, but it's a treatment
recovery center.
Yeah. But he is going home, which is
excellent,
unbelievable news.
Right,
7 days removed.
Right. I mean, you just got all the goosebumps, and then Nyheim Hines happened. When Nyheim Hines returned the opening kickoff of the Buffalo Bills game against the New England Patriots with the 100-yard touchdown return, it was the emotional capper on what had been just a really awful yet hopeful week as it developed closer to this weekend. And as we've said time and time again since last Monday, I mean, our thoughts and prayers are constantly with Damar and his family throughout this whole process. It's great to see the improvement that he's made, but to see everybody around the league envelop the Buffalo Bills fan base and that team was phenomenal. You know, got a real kick out of seeing Brian Daboll wearing obviously he was a coach of the Buffalo Bills last year, but wearing the Damar, love for Damar shirts. I don't really know what was up with RG3 wearing the Damar Hamlin jersey backwards on the ESPN coverage. That was dumb.
Well,
like we wouldn't know who number 3 for the Buffalo Bills was.
That's kind of what I thought is, okay, you could have worn this the right way. It would be way less distracting.
Right. He looked like a bad hip-hop band from the 1990s. That was a throwback to Crisscross, as he was wearing the Hamlin jersey backwards on the ESPN coverage. But to me, that's the stock up. The way that we were all just gathered around the Buffalo Bills, showered them and Damar with love. It was great to see.
So your stock up is to
the NFL as a whole, I guess. The NFL community. I wrote it down as NFL community / of course, Damar. Because he's a hell of a fighter, and the story just gets bigger and bigger. And if that kid can make a comeback onto the football field, which I kind of feel like is going to happen, I can't wait.
By the way, when things like this happen, can we stop with the NFL is rigged trending on Twitter? That was trending at 110, 115 yesterday, and did all afternoon.
Oh, because of the return?
Because sometimes people do things above and beyond in certain scenarios. Doesn't mean everything's rigged. That irks me to no end.
Mm-hmm. Stock down is tough for me. Number 1 stock down of the weekend.
Not for me. There's one that you cannot say, and I will say it immediately.
Well, it's got to be it's the Green Bay Packers. The Packers losing Sunday Night Football to the Detroit Lions was just the worst way they could possibly end the season.
That is not the one I was going to say, because I already took a member of that with Mr. Matt LaFleur.
Right. To me, it's the Packers, stock down as a whole. I mean, look, Detroit did what they needed to do. I mean, when you no longer have a shot at the playoffs, the next best thing to play for is to make sure that your rival doesn't make the playoffs.
And that's where I'm going with mine, because my stock up is everything Detroit. Whether it's Aaron Glenn, who I just so happen to know and have been long campaigning for him to get elevated through the ranks, and I won't be shocked if he gets NFL head coaching jobs or interviews, and he should. Ben Johnson, Motor City Madman Dan Campbell. Just look at everything around that team. Let's say nobody gets promoted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson interview, but they don't get the jobs. How much hype is going to be built around that team next year? Oh, and by the way, we hadn't even talked about this part. They're picking at 6. Do you realize how many good players are going to be there at 6 to add to this team?
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Hutchinson, dog. That offense, ridiculous. Now, the best play of the night was a play that got called back to Jamison Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That team is going to – I could argue that's the most fun team to watch in the NFL right now, and they're not even in the playoffs.
Agreed.
And now you have an offseason where you have 2 first-round picks. You've got a little bit of money. Yes, Jared Goff is still reasonably expensive. I don't know what you're going to do at quarterback. I think it's Jared Goff. The home road splits bother me, but I'm not sure you're going to find a better solution.
I don't think you will.
And I'm not sure that you need to.
No. We got to give the shout-out to formerly fat Jamal Williams. He is now the single-season leader in rushing touchdowns for the Detroit Lions. Did you ever think you would see that day come?
That Jamal Williams would pass Barry Sanders for most touchdowns?
Where Barry Sanders is no longer atop that list.
No.
17 touchdowns this year for Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I can genuinely say I did not see that coming. I have another one to me that's very obvious. But looky there, we're up against a break. Isn't it weird how that works? It's almost like I got a clock right in front of me that tells me when to do that and when not to. So after the break, I will tell you what is a very obvious stock down to be.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
Traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Lane delays 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Haywood County 40 westbound. Stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between the Cane Creek and the Smiley's Flea Market area. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow south of the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. Check of the drive time from Swannanoa to Asheville via 40 westbound and 240 westbound. Drive time 18 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
Enjoy the best of Asheville's food scene during Asheville Restaurant Week, January 17th through the 23rd. Over 30 local restaurants offering special menus from casual to fine dining. Show local restaurants some love. Find out more at AshevilleRestaurantWeek.com.
I never write reviews, but Navage is so amazing, I had to leave one. Nothing's ever cleared out my sinuses as well. I'm blown away by how Navage works. That's a review from Carrie, and it's one of over 100,000 online testimonials praising Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I've talked about flushing out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs. How Navage's powered suction can help you breathe better, and how your nose is the body's air filter, and Navage will clean it out. But don't take my word for it. What do people like Chad say, who wrote, Navage has helped clear out my nasal passages every single night. My wife says my snoring has gone way down. Snorefest be gone, unquote. Navage is the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million customers to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
When I finally drove the old car into the grave, I knew there was only one place I was going to go. Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville, home of the family plan. And yes, they treat you like family. I went in, told them what I was looking for, told them my budget, and in no time, I was signing the paperwork on my certified pre-owned vehicle. They have the area's largest selection on quality pre-owned vehicles and certified Nissans. They go through a 167-point inspection, so you know it's not going to let you down. They gave me the Carfax report, so I know the history of my vehicle. And the Fred Anderson family plan gives me things like oil changes and car washes and loaner cars if I have to have major work done on the car in the future. For me, buying a car has always been an intimidating thought. But the folks at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville made it super easy. Don't be like me. Don't wait till the last minute to get a deal done. Go to AndersonNissan.com or stop by the showroom at 629 Brevard Road. And don't forget to mention we sent you from the Sportsocracy and get a $250 bonus on your trade-in at Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
National Championship night and college football coming up after this next break. We're gonna finish the daily draft. We will do the most important message of the day. Don't do crimes. And then we will give you the preview of the national championship game. Close out the show here with Greene on Greene, Jeremy's bangers, last set of bangers for the college football season. As number 1 Georgia defends its title tonight in Los Angeles against the number 3 TCU Horned Frogs. It still feels weird to say that the Horned Frogs are in the national championship, but here we are, and I think we are in for a barn burner of a game tonight.
Could be a lot of points. Could be a late night.
Absolutely. Not good news for me, but I will try to stay awake for this one, unlike I was for the semifinal.
Listen. I've been in 3 states today. All right. If I can make it, you can make it.
Stock up, stock down, daily draft. We are to Jeremy's third pick of this week's daily draft. He opened up with Matt LaFleur, stock down. I went with the NFL community as a whole in regards to the support for Damar Hamlin and, of course, the recovery of Damar Hamlin in and of itself as a stock up for the week. I went Packers down. There's a little bit of a piggyback on Jeremy's Matt LaFleur. Then he goes stock up Detroit Lions.
All things Detroit. All of it.
All things.
Everything. If it's in the Lions' pride, it's stock up.
So what's your next pick, stock up, stock down, from the weekend?
And this is one that could crater into the world. And we were talking about head coaching openings.
Yep.
There's one we left out. The Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, the story coming out that this Sean McVay weighing his options for a few weeks now that the season is over.
The most damning thing I've heard is that people in the front office would almost be surprised if he came back. This year's just weight on him.
I kind of would.
I mean, here's the thing. Sean McVay and I are the same age. So this is if he looks around and sees the same thing with the Rams that I do, which is your path to winning has become very difficult because this roster got very old and very expensive very quickly.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you trade draft picks like that. We don't dedicate 4 months to the draft for no reason. Maybe the Rams should figure that out. Enjoy your 1 Super Bowl trophy. He knows. You think Sean Payton is in demand right now? You got to be thinking about where his mind is. All right, he's seeing Sean Payton, who is 25 years older than him, talking about $25 million a year. I can go do television for a year or two, enjoy being married because he got married last year. I can enjoy all of the things. And then when I decide that I have found the perfect spot for me to come back into this league, I can do it anytime I want to.
Mm-hmm. Never have we seen a coach in this position before. You say, but what about John Gruden? Think about how old John Gruden was.
Sean McVay's 36 years old.
Right.
It's really unbelievable when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I hear it, the more I think there's a very good chance that he's not with the Rams next year. And you talk about a franchise in turmoil.
Don't you think NBC would much rather have Sean McVay up there rather than old Jason Garrett? Oh, that's right. Jason Garrett's going to take another job, isn't he? Didn't he get another job?
Not to my knowledge.
I thought he did. I thought he took he was going to take a job.
He was interviewing for the Stanford job, but he did
that's
not get
right.
that.
That's right.
Yeah, the Rams, I'm afraid that it has gotten late very early, and you could be in for some dark times.
All right, stock down for the L.A. Rams. My next pick, it's going to be a stock down too, and it's also going to be in the NFC. You're going to get my next 2 picks are coming out of the NFC as well. Already took stock down for the Green Bay Packers, stock down for the Dallas Cowboys. Look, this thing has gotten loud in a hurry. You came out and laid an egg yesterday against the Washington Commanders. and now you got to go to Tampa Bay and open up the playoffs.
I love how you keep saying that like it's a daunting thing.
Stop it.
It's so
You are
daunting.
so drunk on this thing. I can't wait for this to blow up in your face.
You're talking about all right. Your hubris on this is it's bordering as comical
It's not
as yours.
hubris. It's common sense. The Dallas Cowboys are dog water in the NFL playoffs. Have always been. And they just went out last week of the season needing to win that game.
For absolutely no reason. It did nothing. It did absolutely nothing.
But they didn't know that. You needed to go out there and win that game because you had a chance at the number 1 overall pick.
And you walked into this game knowing the Giants were starting Davis Webb. Okay, at the end of the day, you knew the Giants were starting Davis Webb, who doesn't belong in this league, let alone on a field.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to house you.
Yeah, not going to happen.
I would love to know what you have seen out of Tampa Bay that doesn't make this just as obvious as it could possibly be. If you take away your own god-awful division, your 4 wins are against the Cardinals, the
Cowboys.
Seahawks, first week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time ago.
Sure it was.
Todd Bowles is living proof of any idiot can take over a franchise that's already put well together. It takes some time for your erosion to show. So you beat the Cowboys. Outside of that, you beat the Rams, who are god-awful. The Seahawks, woo, in what was, that was in London, in one of the Germany, wherever, in one of the more difficult games to watch all year. And now you're telling me that just because you've seen the Cowboys be bad in the past, you've yet to actually say what it is that your team is going to do to make this happen. Meanwhile, talent for talent, you don't belong in the stadium with them. The worst I've seen them play is better than I've seen anything Tampa Bay do all year. But we're just going to figure it out with old stoic Todd Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I won't comment on this again. I'm just going to sit back and laugh because I genuinely think you are going to get boat raced.
Dallas Cowboys flopped on their face against the Washington Commanders. Was it the loss that they needed? Jerry Jones saying, "Oh, this is the wake-up call that we needed." I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, give it a week.
And then stock up for the San Francisco 49ers. I told you last week, this is a team that we've not even seen their best yet. Now, should we get all hot and bothered because they demolished the Arizona Cardinals? No, obviously not. But we continue to see the best defense in this league and Brock Purdy be terribly, terribly efficient leading this team. I'm not so sure they're my favorite. They're not my favorite to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
I would say they're mine. I would genuinely say they're mine.
Okay.
I mean, it's the most talented roster in the league to me.
Mm-hmm. And they did the most important thing that they needed to do, was come out of yesterday with no major injuries.
Ironic you said that. Because my next stock down is from one Mr. Brandon Staley. You had one job, all right? As soon as you saw Baltimore lose, you knew you were playing for absolutely nothing. You were the one team in the league that had the benefit of that. The Cowboys could look at Davis Webb and go, hey, you're just genuinely awful at football, and maybe infer some things from there. Now, they played everybody, so I'm not going to say that's what happened. I also would say that made it less, we must win this game. Psychology does play into this to a point. You got 2 of your best players hurt in a game that didn't matter for squat, and then you lost anyway. That's hard to do. It's hard to do. And when you're already being second-guessed because one of the best coaches in the NFL has made it very widely known that you possess one of the most appealing jobs in the NFL, that's a special level of falling on your face. Now, it does appear that Mike Williams avoided serious injury. I have not heard on Bosa yet. We'll see.
The MRI was negative on Mike Williams. He is
no structural or muscle damage is what I saw.
Right. Is expected to play this week.
Now I've got one left. Can I pick you just for your hubris with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers who got
not
smoked
hubris.
by the Falcons.
It's not hubris. It's common
I
sense.
thought I didn't think anybody could possibly go drunker on the Dallas Cowboys than me, and yet you found a way. All right, I'm going to do it. Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin did exactly what I thought he would. The only difference is that you, again, cannot ever trust the New York Jets because they will get you every time you trust them.
Mm-hmm.
With that roster that lost its best player for half the season, and with a rookie quarterback who at times has looked fine, I don't think he's ever looked better than fine, you still found a way to not be below 500. If anybody still second guesses Mike Tomlin, I'm going to need you to explain to me why. Unbelievable finish to the season, and I think that team is headed for really good things. You basically got an extra first-round pick for Chase Claypool.
Yep.
Because that pick is now the first pick in the second round.
It is indeed. Stock up. Mike Tomlin never had a losing record as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. My last stock up, stock down, it's a stock down. It's for the Houston Texans. I mean, all you had to do was lose. They get the 32-31 win over the Indianapolis Colts and lose the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft. Oh, by the way, they followed that up with firing Lovie Smith. Now, I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Am I really sad to see Lovie Smith fired from another job? No, because I didn't think he was a good head coach to begin with. Yeah. He went to a Super Bowl with the Chicago Bears. That was, 20 years ago? Came to Tampa, was god-awful. I knew it was not going to be good when he went to the Houston Texans, but this is now back-to-back years that you have fired coaches in just 1 year of turning it over. It's a dumpster fire.
Biggest one in sports.
Yeah. And then you add in the fact that you take extra heat because, oh, by the way, the two guys that you fired within a year have been minority head coaches, which is obviously, we all know, is it's a lightning rod topic in the NFL. It's just a bad look for the Houston Texans, and I don't see anything getting better with Nick Caserio at the helm of that franchise.
And frankly, I hope D'Amico Ryans looks at him and goes, I don't care that I played here.
No.
I love this franchise, and I'm still going to tell you no.
Screw you. Not taking your job. All right, it is time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene, which is...
don't do crimes!
Yeah, that's always a good idea, not to do crimes. And I'm going to bring you the story of the murder of Anna Walsh. Anna Walsh disappeared on New Year's Day from her home in Massachusetts. Now, her husband, Brian Walsh, he has now been charged. I'll just go ahead and give you the story. And it's going to be obvious as to why after I tell you how this all went down. He was arraigned in Quincy District Court today on a charge of misleading investigators who were searching for Anna Walsh. So apparently on New Year's Day, she was supposed to get on an airplane to go to Washington, D.C. That was the story that Brian Walsh told, that he had not seen his wife since she left to go to the airport. Here's the problem. It's modern day. Like, there are easy ways that police can check these things. He says last time he saw her, she was getting into the Uber to go to the airport.
There was no Uber.
There was no Uber.
Yeah.
You can go and count. You can check the account. You can check her Uber account. There was no Uber that went to their house on January the 1st. By the way, we can go also check the flight manifest.
Which she never got on.
Apparently she did have a ticket to go to Washington, D.C. for some work thing. She never got on the plane. Okay. To make matters worse, they do a search of the house. They found a damaged, bloody knife down in the basement. Okay, that's a pretty bad sign.
Yep, a stupid criminal 101.
Also, when he was asked about where he was during the time that she was supposed to be gone, he told them that he had gone to the grocery store, that he had gone to Whole Foods, and he had gone to an ice cream parlor with his kids. Well, that's not true. They actually traced his movements Oh, because, by the way, he's on house arrest. He's on house arrest.
Also, he has an ankle bracelet that tells us exactly where he is anyway.
Yes, he is on house arrest because he was indicted for selling fake Andy Warhol paintings 2 years ago. So he's on house arrest, and he is allowed to leave the house during one period of time, and that's in the afternoons, so he can go to the drive to the school to pick up his kids. Okay, well, when he left the house, it was on New Year's Day.
They weren't in school.
They weren't in school. And, oh, by the way, they checked the security footage from the Whole Foods and the CVS where he said he went.
Never appeared.
Never appeared. However, he was spotted on surveillance footage from the Home Depot where he purchased mops and buckets and cleaning supplies. You can see where that went. So, don't do crimes.
So he's going to get exactly what he deserves.
100%.
My story is much less macabre than yours. Mine's about a 25-year-old man that is a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers. Earlier this year, he attended a doubleheader of the Brewers against the San Francisco Giants at Milwaukee's American Family Field.
Okay.
Well, as you do, he said he drank at least 10 beers, passed out, and woke up in the bushes outside of the Brewer Stadium. Well, then, as you do when you're just dealing with things, he found a door. Then he pulled on it until it opened.
Okay.
That door was to the Milwaukee Brewers clubhouse. So he goes in, and he found his way in the clubhouse, and he did what you do. He took a Milwaukee Brewers duffel bag and started loading it with the Brewers things. He stole, the things he stole included a laptop, iPods, headphones, a passport, and credit cards. He also broke into Craig Counsell, the manager of the team's office, and stole a jersey and a shaving kit for some reason. A game-used hat, an autographed bat, a 45-year anniversary signed bat that was apparently in a case, a replica World Series ring, and keys to the team's Arizona spring training facility.
Wow.
Do you know how he got caught?
How?
Because he had a roommate. And apparently he showed up still drunk with all of these things and just set it on the table and went to bed. His roommate, who is also a fan of the Brewers, called the police and said, I don't believe he's supposed to have these things.
Good for him.
And you should probably check to see if they are stolen from the Brewers, which they were, and he has been arrested.
Oh, I would.
It is socially acceptable to have a domestic light or two. I'll go one step further. It's socially acceptable to pass out in a bush. You know what's not socially acceptable? Thievery. Theft.
I wonder if that championship ring and the jersey that he stole and all that, I wonder if that was Craig Counsell's from the World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Now, here's my question. I understand because baseball. How is your security so bad that a drunk guy, that Otis from the Andy Griffith Show just showed up and went, I wonder if this door opens. And then we just go take a bunch of stuff.
Well, see, this is exactly why you don't let Craig Counsell smoke his heaters out behind his office, because he wedges the door. Familiar story, right?
Bad things happen.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, just a couple hours away from kickoff of the national championship game. There will be a champion crowned. Will it be the number 1 and defending NCAA champion Georgia Bulldogs, or will it be the upstart Cinderella story number 3 TCU Horned Frogs? We'll talk about it up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday, and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic's crawling 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road, traffic is slowing. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road, delays. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Cane Creek and near Smiley's Flea Market. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
And the rainbow that unravels is Luka Magic.
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
On the free iHeartRadio app, you never pay to hear what you love, and you never wait to hear what you want. Save your money, save your time, and listen anywhere. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA choice and prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It's ESPN Asheville, and the Georgia Bulldogs have a chance to go back-to-back national championships tonight.
That's unbiased.
SoFi Stadium.
I'm sure there will
Well, I
be
mean,
no...
I would have played TCU's fight song, but nobody knows what that song is.
I have a feeling you're going to hear it a time or two tonight.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you got one of the most efficient big play offenses in all of college football going up against a defensive secondary that gives up a lot of explosive plays.
Which is weird because this is a talented team. Mm-hmm. Gage Camplin asked earlier about Keely Ringo possibly at 10 to Philadelphia. I don't think he's that good. I really don't. He's got every physical tool you could possibly want. And I have a funny feeling Quentin Johnston is going to wear him like a hat. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I spent the entire flight back from Miami watching Quentin Johnston tape. I'm not sure that this is not the night where we go, oh boy, he's even better than we thought he was. Because it's one thing to do this to Big 12 teams where defense is optional at best. This is a talented Georgia front. You know, like with no Nolan Smith, and it's there's just a lot of but to me. And I don't know what it is about TC. There is nothing about them that makes sense. I rewatched the entire Michigan game. None of it makes sense. It's just Sonny Dykes being this mad hatter of offense. And one of the ways that Georgia has gotten in trouble is over pursuit. And if you over pursue against TCU, they will burn you because they love running misdirection.
Yep.
The first quarter tells the tale here. There's only two ways this can go. This is either going to be one of those shootout classic games where you're going to see a lot of points, or Georgia is absolutely going to annihilate them. And I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't think it's the latter.
I don't either. I really
don't think it's the latter.
I think this is going to be just as entertaining as the semifinal games were. No one expected TCU to come out and take control against Michigan the way that they did. I can't see that happening against Georgia. Am I saying it's not going to? Obviously not. But I just don't see it. I don't see them getting out by a couple of scores and then Georgia having to chase points. But I do see this as we're throwing haymakers at each other, and it's not going to stop. Because honestly, I don't see a way that Max Duggan and Quentin Johnson don't get theirs. They're going to. They're going to make hay. They're going to move the ball against the Georgia defense. I don't feel like that's too spicy. You already saw them do it against Michigan. Now, do we believe that Georgia's better than Michigan? Most of us do. And I would say many of us believe that by a large margin. But TCU's already done the unthinkable. They're coming in playing with house money here.
That is my biggest takeaway.
All of the pressure is on Georgia to go back-to-back. All of the pressure is on Georgia. You're expected to come in and win this game. You are a double-digit favorite in the national championship game.
If TCU comes out and gets beat 45-0, it changes absolutely nothing about this program.
No.
Nothing.
No.
And I have this feel. Look, Sonny Dykes he was not a household name before this year. He's been an innovative guy offensively for a long time and has a family bloodline that is second to none in college football.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said for the team that has absolutely nothing to lose.
Yep.
Am I telling you that I feel confident TCU is going to win this game? No. But I keep going back to last night with the Detroit Lions, a team that had absolutely nothing to lose. And I look at a Green Bay team that was much more talented. If you look at them offensively against that defense for Detroit, they are more talented, and it is not close.
Okay.
But what happened? You start to play tight. To me, the most integral part of this game is the first 15 minutes. Georgia has historically, over the course of this year, started
slow.
I was going to say poorly, but slow is probably the nicer way of saying that.
Yes.
I have said all year, at some point you're going to get burned. You cannot keep playing these close heads-up games. I understand you're a veteran. I understand you've been here before. I get all of that. You also have a ridiculously limited quarterback. I get that he's a good college, and it's a great story. I get all of those things. He's a tiny little feller. And I feel like this TCU defense is something that he has not seen before. I haven't heard this from anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
This 3-3-5, this is a Gary Patterson creation that is now played all over college football.
Mm-hmm.
What does it have that you're probably not used to seeing? A ridiculous amount of speed. I'm going to give my pick after the break because I'm going all the way to the score. I think this will be a phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm right. And I'm not going to lie, I'm on a completely different path than I would have been 72 hours ago.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I'm looking at is that defense against Georgia's offense. Can the speed of that defense match the veracity of the offensive line for Georgia, of the running game of Georgia? And, oh, by the way, if you noticed one thing about the Ohio State game that had Kirby Smart, all his underwear was all in a twist. It's the one thing that Stetson Bennett got away from in the Ohio State game. Brock Bowers. He said after the game, Kirby Smart said, I talked to Stetson, and we had a long talk about staying within our program. This team, with that 3-3-5 defense, how are they going to stack up against the 12 personnel with the two tight ends on the field that Georgia has?
Well, I can tell you after watching them, and I saw it in live time, they used that against Michigan. Yeah, they gave up a ton of points. But they're really fast.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really fast. And you're talking about the size of Georgia and how strong that offensive line is. It's no stronger than what Michigan's trotting out there. Because that team is built to beat you the way that Georgia will have to beat them tonight. And they used it against them repeatedly. And Jim Harbaugh had no solution to it. Now, do I think that's going to happen in Georgia? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of – this is going to be a chess match. And the thing I cannot get away from, no matter how hard I try, I've got a Georgia team that, to me, I have no vested interest. This is me as an analyst of this game and a fan of this game. I feel like Kirby Smart has had one speed all year long of we're going to play our way, and over the course of time, our talent, our size, our physicality is just going to overwhelm you. And so we'll let you hang with us. We'll even go in at the half down, look bad against teams like Missouri. And as I've watched through it, I keep seeing one thing that bothers them, and it's speed, which TCU just has in droves.
Mm-hmm.
After the break, tell you where I'm going, and I will give you a prop bet for this game that I have never felt more confident on of anything I've ever given you on this show.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Green on Green is next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic time ago, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 40 westbound in Haywood County, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between the Cane Creek to the Smiley's Flea Market area. Checking the drive time from Fairview to Fletcher via Cane Creek Road, drive time 15 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting with grilled chicken and delicious sauces. Get your $2 grilled chicken burrito at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
The Tar Heels to the right baseline are here. Floats it way up in the air and in. Catch the 6-time national champion Tar Heels in action. He got it! 3/10 of a second. All season long. Toward left side, he's going to go hard, heavy. Contact, got the basket and the foul. Holy cow! Right here on your home for Carolina basketball.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Your passion is NFL football. Your access is total. Every weekday, NFL Total Access hits you with uncut. He can't be stopped. Uncensored. I love that. And unapologetic takes on all things NFL. That's how crazy it is. We go beyond what happened to tell you how it happened and what happens now. Those are the facts. On the field, inside the huddle, and under the helmet. This is NFL Total Access, the podcast. Listen weekdays on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Everyone's heard about the housing market and this being the best time to sell a house in years. But the same thing applies to cars. Whether you're looking to buy a car, trade in, or sell that car in the driveway collecting dust, Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville wants to buy your car. They have 2 on-site managers that work with Kelley Blue Book to give you top dollar for your vehicle. You can even have your car appraised instantly at AndersonNissan.com. Stop in and visit them today at 629 Brevard Road in Asheville or call them at 828-365-1663.
Coffee store closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
I only get to do this one more time after tonight. Monday Night Football. National title game. Georgia Bulldogs. TCU Horned Frogs. I got 3 prop bets, and then I'll give you how I think this game goes. First, Max Duggan. Plus 1,100 to be the first touchdown scorer. Here's how I think this game goes. I don't care who wins the toss. I think TCU gets the ball to start. They come out, some trick play to get the momentum on the right side. You get deep in the red zone. They run one of those misdirection plays. Georgia bites. Max Duggan walks in the end zone. That's plus 1,100. Quentin Johnston, over 84.5 receiving yards. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers, over 65.5 receiving yards. I think both of those are layups. I don't see any way either doesn't happen, which tells you I'm going over the 62.5. I think that's a layup as well. I'm taking the TCU Horned Frogs plus the 13.5, and I'll go one step further. I think they win it outright. This is a team with nothing to lose. They will throw everything but the kitchen sink at Georgia. This is not a shot at the Bulldogs. I've said this all year, and my Georgia-wearing partner over here can tell you this. I have said all year long, if you keep playing with fire, eventually you will get burnt. My biggest takeaway, I think they're going to put Keely Ringo on Quentin Johnston early by himself. They've done it all year long. It will burn you quickly. I could see this looking a lot like Ohio State, where you see TCU gets out to a lead, everybody, wait, what's happening? And Stetson Bennett just can't make the magic happen again. I have a funny feeling. I could be wrong. TCU could lose 45-0. This is one of those gut takes. You can go with me. You can not. Totally up to you. I'm taking the Horny Toads.
Oh, interesting.
Did it last year. Lost to Alabama. That didn't work.
Yep.
So easily could happen again this year.
Took Alabama last year. Took the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. It's big games have not gone Jeremy's way for the last little bit here.
Keep swinging the bat.
Keep taking that swing. Look, I'm completely with you on TCU plus the points. I think that's a layup bet. I've told everyone take TCU plus the points. This is going to be a closer game than 13 points.
Every time we think something is going to happen, and it's just a foregone conclusion. I felt like Georgia was a foregone conclusion to win the national title all year long. Almost invariably, when that's the case, a wrench gets thrown into it. Ryan Day could not adjust. I don't think Sonny Dykes is going to have that problem. Now, defensively, can they make the adjustment? That I don't know.
Yeah.
But after analyzing these two teams, I have a funny feeling this is going to be a track meet, and I could see Stetson Bennett making the mistake late.
And maybe he will. Maybe he will. He made a lot of mistakes against Ohio State, and obviously they paid for it. They were able to pull the comeback in the semifinal. I think I go to coaching on this one, and to me, it's not even close. I will take Georgia's coaching staff over TCU's 7 days a week and twice on Sundays.
If I'm right, I'm doing the show tomorrow dressed as the Hypno-Toad.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Enjoy the national championship tonight. I think it's going to be a barn burner and all-timer, just like the semifinal games were. Number 1, Georgia. Number 3, TCU. Let's go, Dogs.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Seasonably cool numbers down in the 20s tonight, 27 in the valley, some low 20s with elevation, and then some beautiful midweek weather here in Asheville. Tuesday, Wednesday, sunshine, high temps in the mid and upper 50s, about 10 degrees warmer than average. Main rainmaker comes in Thursday with some half-inch rains Thursday and could see some light snows in the valley for Friday with colder air pouring in for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic slow 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 40 westbound in Haywood County, stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. Hendersonville Road southbound is slow between the Cane Creek and the Smiley's Flea Market area. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, light delays near Mills Gap Road. Checking the drive time from Black Mountain to Old Fort via 40 eastbound, drive time 11 minutes. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has $2 grilled chicken burritos that come in 2 bold flavors, Chipotle Ranch and Salsa Verde. They're bursting